dirty dog.
What up, everybody? It's good to see ya. You guys ready? You guys ready?
Let's go.
Let's go. It's great to see you. Sergey, is that you from Barcelona? Shout out to Sergey, man. It's awesome. It's good to see all of you guys, man. What's up, Garrett, Luis, James, Carl, Nathan, Sheila, Bloodbath, Jim, Andrew, Julio, The Music Needs You, Mo, Gamer Dude, Angela, Dark Corner, Sergey, Cat Lord, Elliot, Stay Tuned, Dallas Alice, Vin Martin, Ninu. It's great to see Tam Tam, everybody, man. Christina, Matt Lewis, Bach, Francine, Alfred, Aunt Esther's in the house, Dr. Memes, Gamer Dude, Allison's in here. Shout out to Allison. What's up, everybody? What's up, Floyd? What's up, Bonkers? What's up, Amy? What's up, Matt? What's up, Lisa Folk? What's up, Beach Bub? Alright, I think that covers everybody. And, of course, BJ. Shout out to BJ and V-Pool over in Rumbell. It's good to see you. What up, Kiefer? What's up, William? Guys, as you can see, they still haven't started. They're pretty late start today. I didn't think they would be on. I figured they'd be off for 4th of July, even though it's Thursday. But I figured they wouldn't even show up. But I guess they late. What's up, Cat? Just here for the beer? And your boyfriend. I hope he's here today, too, man. I'd love to have some Spindler. I mean, some Mr. Harlan in my life. Right about now, man. Shout out to Mr. Harlan, man. He's the best.
I own the Port of Los Angeles. That's my property. You're not to be hiring anybody into the Port of Los Angeles. Who in the fuck do you guys think you are?
What's up, Dakini, Lindsay, Laguna? Hey, how are you? What's up, Tim? Hi, Randy. Happy Taco Tuesday. What's up, Lou? Yeah, we're just waiting for them to start. They're just, taking their own time. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. How are you? I'm good. I had a friend come over with his son and pick up some cards that they had. His dad, they had a bunch of cards here that we used to open together, and he left them here, so he came to get them so him and his son can enjoy them. So got that taken care of and gave his son some cards. He likes Mookie Betts and Michael Jordan and stuff, so I gave him a few cards like that. And yeah, man, without the kids, there is no more hobby. So sometimes it's nice to give them a little something and explain to them and teach them when they're young how the card hobby works, kind of, in a sense, and get them interested in it. I think it's a good thing. Gets them to read the cards and organizational skills and numbering and things like that. And it is social. It may not be the most social thing in the world, but it's definitely a social hobby. We like to go to card shows and talk to each other about our favorite players or what happened in sports or non-sports, about Marvel cards or whatever. So I think it's kind of cool, No, Jordan, I didn't give. I wish I was wealthy enough to just give away Michael Jordan rookie cards. What's up, Mrs. C? I don't have that ability, but I gave him some like 89 hoops all-star cards and stuff, some cool stuff. Not terrible things. A bunch of Mookie Bet cards that I had, some extra ones that I didn't put up yet. So I gave him some of those because he really likes Mookie Betts. And I don't blame him. Mookie's a fantastic player and a good person. So what's not to like, Now I got my cat in here sitting on my bag. Huh, you happy now? Daddy fed you early too? You're happy, baby? You're a happy boy now? You were sleeping with Daddy all morning. Woke Daddy up at 5:30 to feed you. Yes, you did. Them pesticides really get you coughing? Yes, if you're smoking weed with pesticides in them, for sure. Shout out to you, Ernie James. Yeah. Is that what they're doing, Tim? Is that what's going on? Is that why we're still waiting? Because the date's right. Today's the 2nd of July. Right? There's the agenda items for the day. But we haven't started yet. Normally we're started by 10:10, 10:15 the latest, and it's 10:25 now, so we're 10 minutes back. Is what it is. Shout out to Sean from Canoga Park Appreciation. How about that drama last night? Yeah, I mean, it happens. You know, it sucks that kind of wish he would have done that later on, but yeah, what can you do? I guess look, at least we were lucky enough to get the whole first meeting in. That second one, of course, pretty much got snuffed out after the third public comment or whatever it was. You know, then of course they're not going to keep them in there after that happens. You know, especially after they decided not to use the metal detectors, I believe, because we didn't hear any buzzing, unless you guys heard it and I didn't. That was the one time we didn't hear the buzzing of metal detectors going off, so you don't know if somebody brings a weapon of some sort. There's a lot of crazy fucks out there in this world. Trust me, they hit me up all the time telling me they're going to kill me when they see me, so I know it's true. You know, I mean, you know, again, most of those people are just keyboard warrior idiots that you'll never see. But every once in a while, there is one idiot that will show up. So, having said that, I think that's what they learned yesterday in their little book, that, you know, you can be a target regardless of what's going on. So you need to keep, you know, cognizant of that, and it is what it is. You know, the ones that are doing that are stupid anyways, because if they're doing it to you online, which they may be doing to them, and you record that, and then they end up doing it, and then the things that you screenshot or whatever is connected to their ISP at their house, then they're going to show conspiracy to commit, which is way worse than actually doing whatever you're going to do. It means it was all premeditated and thought out, which gets you a lot more time. So, good luck with all that. Celebrini is going to be a bust? How do you figure, Dead Mike? You think so already? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's too early to tell. I mean, they don't draft all that well, the Sharks, but how could you not take him? It wasn't a draft that was just so stacked. So there's no way you couldn't take him. What's up, Scorpius? How are you? I'm good. Just waking up, about to have my first bowl and coffee in the morning. What's up, Taiji? My man. What up, Taiji? Spicy show last night. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. I ever tried the Arizer XQ2? I can't. Yeah, I have not, Randy. You know, Randy, just to let you know, right now, 25% off Planet of the Vapes. They have brand new, old edition Volcanoes, which the only difference between the one I use and that one is really, one has a dial to put it to where you want, and the other one is actually a digital gauge. This one does do concentrates too, but you probably won't be smoking many concentrates out of there. So you can get them really cheap now, like $350, brand new in the box, $349 when they're normally $500. And the one that I'm using is $500 right now, not $750. So they have big 4th of July sales going on right now, 25% off everything store-wide. It's Planet of the Vapes. Again, I'd give you a code if I had one. I don't. They're not a sponsor. They're just a company that I was introduced to by my friend. And we buy everything we need from there. The bags, the screens. I mean, anything you need for those things, they have them there. Not to mention other apparatuses. They might have a smaller one that you're looking for, like the one you're talking about, that XQ2. I don't even know what that is. They may have that one, you know what I mean, for 25% off right now. So I would definitely look. Right now. So, shit yeah, man. Shit yeah, you can't go wrong. 25% off. That's a good chunk. That is a good chunk, man. Let's see. That's not right. Why does it keep doing this? Okay. Yes. Alright, so here we go. Let me just show you really quickly since these ding-dongs haven't started yet. But there you go. Summer sale going on. Planet of the Vapes. All the Mighties. The one that I use right here. That's that small one on the right there. I use daily, you know, to go when I'm out and about. It's a good vape. And see, here's the one I use on the show right here that the cursor is touching. There's the other version of it. See what I mean? Stores and Bickle, 25% off. See, that's the only difference. It has a dial here. See the little metal dial instead of having the digital gauge like this one has. It's the only difference. $524 from $699 difference. See, look at this one, $359.25. And that's what I use right here. This is the original one that's been around 30 years, this one. 30 years people have been using this. You know, I get it that the hybrid might be the best in a sense, but I mean, you know, again, some people can't just afford it right now. You know, money is an issue for a lot of folks right now. See, there you go. There's with the dosing capsules and everything. They give you everything on there. Look at that. Look at that whole kit for $534. 4 bags. Gives you the tube, and see that way in case you run out of bags, you can always use the tube. Dosing capsules for the top. I mean, everything. It's all good. It's all good. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what you need. That's what you need. Lifetime warranty. All these, look, they're German products. Most German products work really well. Most of them. A lot of thought and design goes into them, you know. And again, your lungs are worth every penny. So Planet of the Vapes, just like I said, go check them out. You may find something over there that you can afford that's a good deal. And I would say let them know that I'm, you know, sending you, but they don't know who the hell I am. So, is there any footage? No, not that I know of. I mean, I can take a look at maybe the news really quickly and see if the news is outside. But give me a moment here. Okay, no, they're not there. I don't see anybody there, but we'll keep looking. 4 is not there. 7 is not there. 5 is not there. Oh, there we go. Ah, perfect timing. Here we go. It looks pretty packed in there too, ladies and gents.
Motions. But today is July 2nd, 2024. I want to welcome all of you to this meeting of your Los Angeles City Council. I'm Paul Krikorian, President of the Council, and we're
Just
ready
in
to
time.
begin. We'll be taking public comment today both here in the Council chambers as well as by teleconference. And we will be taking extensive public comment today, especially because we have nearly 200 items on our agendas today to get through. So, with that,
200 items?
Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Like, who's the W who puts 200 items on the agenda? Just saying, that's just stupid shit.
Lee, McCosker, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky, 14 members present and quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you.
stupid.
First order of business, please.
Approval of
to
the
try to
minutes
do
of
that
June
much?
28,
Stupid.
2024.
Councilmember Hernandez moves. Councilmember Rodriguez seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Councilmember Lee moves. Councilmember Hutt seconds.
Oh,
Next.
Spinks is in here. I didn't even
Mr.
notice.
President, today's Tuesday. It's time for the flag salute.
Today's Tuesday.
Very good.
time for
Mr.
the
Price,
flag
could
salute.
you please lead
Like
us
if
in the
it was
flag salute?
Wednesday, then it wouldn't be time for the flag salute?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Classic loaf mode
Please
over
put
there.
your right hand over your heart. Ready to begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you to DeLeon's Toupee. Thank you.
Thank you. Whoever's shouting out, I'm going to warn you only this one time. We can't have disruptions in the meeting. As I mentioned, we have 200 items that
Ian.
we're going to try to get through. So please, I know people feel passionately about things, but please try to allow the
Sergey,
meeting to
it's
proceed.
good to see you in
And I
here,
believe
man.
that was Mr. Candido, Mr. President.
Okay.
Oh, Candido.
All right. With
Candido's
that,
starting
Madam Clerk,
it, huh?
can you please run through the agenda?
Are you kidding me, Candido?
Yes, sir.
Of all guys to start it with, Candido.
For the regular agenda,
That's the great
items
pandering
1 through
for the ones
3
who don't
are
know.
items noticed for public hearing. Items 4 through 81
Yeah,
are
no,
items
first
which
one, though.
public hearings have been held. The committee reports for items number 58 through 61 and 120 have been submitted and are available online under their respective council files. Items 82 through 105 are items which public hearings have not been held.
E-Honda.
Items 106 through 116 are closed session items considered by the Budget and Finance and Innovation Committee. Note that no action should be taken on item 108 inasmuch as that item was scheduled in error. Item 117 is a closed session matter for which public hearing has not been held. For the supplemental agenda, items 118
Think she looks better
through
without it? I think
120
she looks better
are
with
items
it, Matt.
which public hearings have been held. Items
Just saying.
121
She's burned her
through
cheekbones from wearing
152
the-
are
it's like it's-
items for which
the
public
straps for the
hearings
mask
have
burnt
not
into
been
her-
held. For item
cheekbones.
number
Left some
124,
marks.
the financial disclosure statement has been submitted and is available online under council file number 24-1200-S30. Items 153 through
Tried a new place and it
155
was
are
no good.
closed session
No good
items
Chinese out here
considered
anymore,
by the
man.
Budget and Finance and Innovation Committee.
Shitty Chinese.
There is
there.
also a request to hold item 51 on the desk, sir, and 10 votes are required for consideration.
Very good. Thank you. Without
Needs a full
objection,
Pro-Tech
members, those
helmet.
items are now before us. I'd like to ask members if there are any items
CCM
that you would
helmet.
like to call special. Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes, I'd like to call items 54, 80, and 82 for a separate vote, and item 122 for comments.
Where's that big ass
Very
flower
good.
again?
Thank you.
Wonder if
Councilmember
Spiller was gonna
McOsker.
talk shit to her about it.
I have two items on the supplemental
right,
agenda. Is it
everybody.
appropriate to say so now?
Yes, please.
Let's please hold, or actually, on 122, I have a substitute motion
Mello.
which the city attorney has, and I'd like to hold 135 for questions and remarks.
Very good. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mr. City Attorney, are
Too
you
many strip mall
prepared with
places?
the substitute
Yeah.
motion?
There was a
on
really
item
good one when I
122?
first moved out here. My buddy took me out here. It was like
This may
literally
take
the
a
first
second.
2
We have a
weeks.
lot of
He's like, let's go.
motions here to
This
get
place is
through,
not
so
far from me. It's really
You have
good.
that?
And we did, and it was
Yes,
like
so
the
the-
original, like
A
Cantonese.
substitute motion
really
reads,
good.
the 2024
Chinese
through
food.
2025
Old school.
adopted budget
like you find
includes
in Monterey Park and shit.
$2,125,000
Then
in
literally
the unappropriated
maybe 1
balance
month later,
for a
they went out of business.
wildland fuel
They sold the
management
place
paid
to
hand crew
fucking
program in the
Shake
fire
Shack.
department,
Now there's a fucking
LAFD.
Shake Shack there now.
This program has been in the works for the last 2 fiscal years
And ever since
will
then, I've been
increase
looking
the
for a good one,
LAFD's
can't find
ability
it.
to respond to wildfires in the wildland urban interface. The LAFD reports that its new wildland hand crew technician position has been created, and the department is now ready to begin hiring for the position. Funding for the
Let me guess, bunch of
unappropriated
illegal
balance
immigrants.
should be transferred to the department's budget for this purpose. I therefore move that the council, subject to the approval of the mayor, 1. Authorize the transfer of funds in the amount of $1,274,222 from the unappropriated balance, fund number 100-58, account number TBD, Wildland Fuel Management Paid Hand Crew Program, to the fire department fund number 100-38, account numbers as follows.
Hey, Hoosier.
Account number
Hey, he's over here. I'm gonna let him sit down
0010,
first,
salaries
figure out what he
general,
wants to do. He doesn't know what he wants to do.
$959,887.
I don't want to keep moving.
Account
the
number
camera.
001012,
So we'll put it back on in a
salary
moment.
sworn, $314,335 for a total of $1,274,222.
Dalton does have the
And
best
2,
fireworks.
authorize the following resolution authorities within the fire
Well, the
department,
difference between Dalton
subject
is
to allocation by the personnel department
here
and pay
we
grade
need the public
determination
comment
by the CAO.
in order to bring the fireworks.
Numbers 1,
There,
class
it's
code
public comment, and it's each other.
2142-1,
The
class
people
title
on the
Fire
horseshoe
Captain 1.
don't like each other there.
Number 2,
half
class
don't,
code
half are with one person and half are with the
2112-3,
other. They don't get
firefighter
along.
3.
Here, they all
and
lick each
number
other's
26,
assholes. They
class
love to like
code
pull their assholes open and tongue punch it.
2105, Wildland Hand Crew Technician.
That's what
And
they're doing
3,
all day here with each
authorize
other.
the fire
That's
department
difference.
and the CAO to make any corrections,
Texas?
clarifications, or revisions to the above fund transfer instructions, including any new instructions in order to
You don't
effectuate
fart.
the intent of this motion,
Snakes
and
don't fart.
including any
up,
corrections
CW?
to fund or account numbers. Said corrections / clarifications
What's up, Czar?
/ changes may be made orally, electronically, or by any other means.
Yeah, stinks ain't a farter.
Mr.
I've
President,
never really heard a cat
there
fart.
is also
What,
a
one moment, please. I'm sorry. Was
Like, he just,
that
it's
the
just not a part
end
of him.
of the
That's more of a
motion?
dog
Is
thing.
there a second?
I believe
Cats
it
ain't
was seconded by
busy farting all
CD7.
day.
Very good.
Dogs eat all
Councilmember
that fucked up dog food.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Rodriguez confirms that Councilmember Rodriguez is the seconder.
All right,
All
there
right.
he goes.
Madam
He's out of
Clerk.
the room now.
yes,
He's
sir.
gone.
There is also a
For the moment.
request to hold item 92 on the desk. And also, Mr. President, would council like all items to go forthwith today?
Yes,
Forthwith.
without objection, that will be the order.
Thank you.
All right. Next, Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President, and please forgive me, City Clerk.
Oh, she's all done
I
up
would like to
today.
call the
New
following
dress,
items special
got
for
her
a
hair
separate
did,
vote.
Makeup up.
6, 7,
She's trying to get banked
11,
out.
12, 17, 18, 20,
What's up, Druid?
29, 30, 32, 36, 37, 79. I would like to call item special 54. I would like to call item 54 special for questions. And I have amendments for the following items. And I believe the city attorney has the language. If they could please read it into the record for items 38 and 47, please. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney.
She got a soccer ball. Soccer ball looks tiny in her big hands. What did I have for breakfast?
So on
Nothing.
item number 47,
Coffee.
the amendment reads that I move that item number 47 on today's council agenda
Didn't have
be
time.
amended to incorporate the following language.
Turtle?
1. Instruct the Civil and Human Rights and Equity Department
It
to
is
organize
on.
and facilitate a working group.
I don't think they'll be on
consisting of,
tomorrow,
but
though.
not limited
That's
to.
probably why.
And this language is in bold, so I believe it's the new language. Maya indigenous communities from Guatemala and other Guatemalan residents, and it strikes the language individuals, and organizations or businesses advocating for the Guatemalan community, the Consul General of Guatemala, Council District 1, the Department of Cultural Affairs, the Economic and Workforce Development Department, and the Board of Public Works. The working group should report to Council in 180 days on the following items. A. Defining boundaries around a culturally significant area within the Westlake neighborhood that can be named in honor of the Guatemalan community. And B. Developing a name for the area defined by working group. And C. Initial plans for a cultural marker to be placed in the defined area.
So I'll make little Guatemala now. Look at his hair in the back. Look at his hair. Look at his hair.
Yes, that was the end of that motion.
All right. And is there a seconder for that motion?
He's definitely
Councilmember
asleep
Hutt
in the
seconds.
Prius.
Thank you. Next, please.
If we could just hold on for just a second, please.
Prius hair for sure. Because the rest of it looks fine. It's always that far back part. Like his calic.
Okay, we're going to hold. What was the other item number? 38? Okay, we're going to hold that for now until the motion is ready to be read into the record.
Fucking
so,
E-Honda.
if I may, Councilmember Hernandez, I'm going to go to the next member, Councilmember
Fucking
Park.
Brock. Fucking E-Honda.
Council President, for item 23, I would like to move the recommendations of the Economic and Workforce Development Department report dated June 24th, 2024. Thank you.
Very good. Seconded by Mr. Price. Okay. Thank you. Hold on a minute, Mr. Price. So I'm going to go next to Councilmember Blumenfield.
Great, thank you. I'd like to, on item 81, to move the Budget and Finance Innovation Committee report. On item 84, there's a substitute motion regarding
Oscar.
Aliso Creek.
Oh, Oscar, there was a
Reseda
bear
River Loop, and we can
roaming around earlier.
read that into the record, if you like.
Somehow there's a bear, again.
All right. Mr. City
Not
Attorney.
far from Chatsworth. There's
The
a
substitute
Chatsworth
motion on item number 84
wildlife
reads
preserve.
that I
it's in the
move
mountains,
that,
like the Woolsey Canyon. That bird.
I move that item
So you have
number.
bears
sorry.
up there, so
I
I'm
move that
assuming the
council
bear
action
made
of
its
March
way
1st,
down?
2024, relative to amending the council actions of March 26th,
No different than a
2019,
coyote or whatever.
regarding
Just
the funding for
when
the
bears
Reseda
come
River
down, they
Loop
actually
Greenway
follow 'em and
Project,
chase 'em.
CF 14-1174-S48,
Regarding Canoga
and
Park,
of February
Sean
9th,
Sean's,
2022,
neighborhood.
regarding funding for the Canoga Park Arts Lab Project,
Where's Sean?
CF 14-1174-S22, in Council District 3 be amended to add the following instruction. Authorize the controller and/or the Public Works Office of Accounting to establish an appropriation for a new account entitled Reseda River Loop PH2 Project in Pollution Abatement Fund, Fund Number 511.
Is there a second to the substitute motion?
Mr. Lee?
Yes, I'll second it. Or Councilmember
Okay,
Lee. I'm sorry,
and,
Councilmember Lee was the seconder.
Councilmember Lee. And for item 81, the motion to move the BFI report, is there a second to Mr. Blumenfield's motion?
I'm happy to second that one.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Hutt wants to second.
Hutt.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
Councilmember
looking
Hutt's
over
the
the news. I
seconder on
don't
that.
see anything on it.
Okay,
Okay,
Mr.
thank
City
you.
Attorney, next.
Okay.
I thought I
next
got
on
a
item 85, I
report
just want to
that
call that
was
special for
earlier
comments.
today, so maybe
Very
they're
good.
still on it.
Item 85, just calling special for comments. And then on item 129, I have an amending motion. And that was, it's a long one that the CAO has, or clerk has.
She might have got her
A lot of
10
technical
grand.
changes
Maybe
on
more.
item
I got a
129.
Hondo.
Okay,
Yeah, it
so
sucked. TS, man.
we'll need to read those into the record. So, Mr. City Attorney.
Wasn't a very good.
So the motion on item number 129 from Councilmember Blumenfield reads that I move that item number 129 on today's supplemental council agenda be amended to add the following instructions. 1. Authorize the controller to A. Reappropriate up to the specific general fund amounts noted from the unencumbered balance remaining in the funds and accounts identified in attachment 1 of this motion in the same amount and into the same accounts as existed on June 30th, 2024, for the purposes noted therein. B. Reappropriate up to the specific special fund amounts noted from the unencumbered balance remaining in the special fund and accounts identified in attachment 2 of this motion in the same amount and into the same accounts as exist on June 30th, 2024, for the purposes noted therein. C. Transfer $850,000 from Fund 100/56,
Hey, Russell.
General City Purposes, account number 000405, Unarmed Response to Homelessness and Nonviolent Calls, to the Board of Public Works, account number 003040, Contractual Services, for the Office of the Community Beautification to support illegal dumping crews in Council District 8. D. Disencumber up to $292,000 in the 2023 to 2024 encumbered balances for contract number C-140863, MYCA Multimedia and Training Solutions, LLC, SC43 CO 23140863M, within the Housing Department, Fund Number 100/43, account number 003040, Contractual Services. Revert the disencumbered amount to the Accessible Housing Fund, number 10D, and reappropriate therefrom to the Housing Department Fund, number 100/43, account number 003040, Contractual Services, to pay for the development of an online training program for the Accessible Housing Program in 2024 to 2025. That's contract number C-140863. E. Disencumber up to $76,000 in the 2023 to 2024 encumbered balances for contract number C-143497, Ilana, Inc., SC43CO241408 43497Y within the Housing Department Fund Number 100/43, account number 003040, contractual services. Revert the disencumbered amount to the funding source and reappropriate therefrom to the Housing Department Fund Number
Should go back and
100/43,
watch it.
account number
Legacy Mindset.
003040. Contractual services to pay for cost estimating services in 2024 to 2025.
Don't skip any of it.
F. Reappropriate up to $500,000 from the unencumbered balance within the Excess Benefits Fund number 918/64, account number 649700, Fire and Police Excess Benefits into the same amount and into the same account that exists on June 30th, 2024 for excess benefit payments for 2024 to 2025. G. Disencumber up to $230,650.46
Everything's six
in the
figures,
fiscal
well
year 2022 to 2023 encumbered balances for contract number C-138814, Liberty Hill Foundation, SC
mostly combat,
74
but occasionally there are early chases.
23138814M
Last week I fell asleep.
within the Board of
Or
Public Works
asleep.
Fund number
I missed a motorcycle chase.
100/74,
That was 25
account
minutes.
number 003040, contractual services. Revert the disencumbered amount to
Michael,
the reserve
because they
fund
like living on the
and
Democrat
reappropriate
plantation.
therefrom to the Board of Public Works.
And they'd rather
Fund
live
number
as slaves to the Democrats
100/74
than live freely to
account
the other
number
side.
003040, contractual services to pay for climate
What's up,
and
Umar?
emergency
Pretty much the
mobilization
gist of it.
office community outreach
Again,
and
if you
engagement.
think people voted for Joe
H.
Biden last year because they really liked
Reappropriate
Biden, you're crazy.
$250,000
They voted for
from
Biden
the unencumbered
to not
balance
vote
within
for
the
Trump.
Board of Public Works Fund number
was a hate vote.
100/74.
I hate this guy so much, I
account
have
number
to vote for the other one.
003040.
They weren't voting for the policies.
Contractual
They were
services
voting
in the
totally
same amount
against
and into the same account
Donald Trump.
that exists
That's all
on
that
June
was.
30th, 2024.
And they have, the TDS, the Trump
I.
derangement syndrome.
Reappropriate up to $209,337 from the Animal Services
Figueroa, that's
Department
what I say.
salaries account, fund number 100/06, account number 001010, salaries general, to the department's contractual services account, fund 100/06, account number 003040, contractual services, for use to purchase professional grade radio equipment. J. Reappropriate up to $250,000 from the unencumbered balance
It's good to hear you're
within
out
the
there
Personnel
voting 50
Department
cal,
Fund
whichever way you
number
go.
100/66, contractual
I
services
don't know if
account
any of these count.
number
Who knows?
003040 in the same amount and into the same account that exists on June 30th, 2024 for executive recruitment services for the
Chinese.
Office of
I don't
Public
think it's
Accountability.
Chinese.
K. Transfer $6,158,101.36
Seems more Japanese
set
than
aside
it
in
does
the unappropriated
Chinese.
balance fund number 100/58 for the Public Provider Ground Emergency Medical Transport Intergovernmental Transfer PP-GEMT-IGT program to the Fire Department Fund number 100/38, contractual services account
My voice
number
fades. Well, it's 'cause I'm back here sometimes, and then sometimes I'm up here.
for the payment of the first quarterly
I'm all over the
invoice
place.
for the PP-GEMT-IGT program. L. Reappropriate up to $1,304,500.33 from the unencumbered balance within the Department of Transportation Fund, number 100/94, account number 003040, contractual services, in the same amount and into the same accounts as exists on June 30th, 2024, to allow the Department of Transportation to continue
There's no
support
way,
for the
Bloodbath.
CURB asset management system
No way. Especially if they have to sit there and
$804,500.33,
they're gonna honor
and
a few
mobility
folks,
investment
guarantee they
programs, $500,000.
It's to thwart the
2.
public from talking.
Authorize the fire department to make quarterly
fuck
payments
around
for the
long enough, they'll just leave. Or they won't come.
PP-GEMT-IGT program in accordance with the deadlines established by the state upon receipt of invoices
Tawana.
and report back on the status of the program in subsequent FSRs. 3. Rescind recommendation
Jeff.
number 40 of the 2023 to 2024 year-end financial status report and recommendation number 6 of the Budget, Finance, and Innovation
Tell me
Committee
when it sells
relative
TS,
to the
man. I can put $1
2023 to
million on every
2024
single one of my
year-end
cards. They're not gonna go
FSR,
anywhere.
as these recommendations directed
Neither
the
is
city
that
clerk
Brawny
to
for
put various
23.
items on today's agenda, which are now addressed through this
Unless his
motion.
Daddy buys it for him.
And 4, authorize the CAO to make technical corrections as necessary to the transactions included in this motion to implement the intent of this motion. And that's the end of the motion.
Thankfully, yes. So Councilmember McOsker, I
there's two
believe.
groups they have
Councilmember
to honor.
McOsker, you're the seconder.
Ridiculous.
To the folks who took the time and effort to come down to the council chambers, I just want to explain and apologize that we have to read these technical things into the record. They are all posted on the board, so if you want to read them on your own, they're posted up there. The reason that we have to do this out loud like that is because there are people who want to comment on the phones who don't have access to the boards, and so we, in order to accommodate those who are calling on the phones, we
blame
have
it
to
on the
read it
people
out
calling
loud.
in.
So I apologize that some of this seems tedious and long-winded, but that's just the way we have to do it. Anything else, Mr. Blumenfield, or are we good? We're good. Okay.
All right,
And
so now
Mr.
let's-
President, I do have the amending motion on item 38 from
Ian.
Councilmember Hernandez.
All right, go right ahead.
And the motion
What a
for item
unfun
38
job.
reads that I move that item number 38 on today's council agenda be amended to add the following recommendation. Approve the reappropriation of general city
I'd rather be
purposes,
digging ditches
additional
all
homeless
day long,
services funding
watching
in the
pretty
amount of
ladies walk by,
$400,000
cool cars,
in fund number
fresh air.
100/56, account
me a
number
shovel.
000931, additional homeless services for the previously approved Clean Team services in the area surrounding the Mayfair Hotel interim housing site. Council file number 23-0792-S3 to enhance street and sidewalk cleaning, bus shelter maintenance, and regular public trash pickup in Council District 1.
And one, how about all the
and
districts?
the seconder on
Every
that
district
was
can be clean. They're all dirty.
Councilmember Soto Martinez is
Some
the
are just
seconder on
worse
that.
than
No,
the
I'm
others.
sorry, just
Guessing
your
one is
seconding.
a real toilet.
Councilmember Hernandez's motion. All right. Next, I'd like to recognize Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
Thank you, Council President.
Because they're stupid, buddy.
I'd like to ask that we substitute item 104 with a substitute motion,
Who bought her lipstick?
which the city attorney can read into the record after brief remarks I'd like to make
Can't
right
believe
now.
she's even wearing lipstick.
That's all right.
Yes, without objection, go right ahead.
I further ask that the substituted motion be continued to the first meeting after the recess, July 31st, per instructions from the city attorney's office in accordance with the Brown Act's noticing requirements.
Need a mask now for her.
So the original motion was
That's all I wanna
introduced by
say.
Councilmember Blumenfield and me last week in response to the deeply troubling and unacceptable violence in the Pico Robertson neighborhood last Sunday. However, after many conversations with colleagues,
Those are your
the
voters.
mayor, the city attorney's office, and interfaith leaders across the city, it became apparent that this funding is needed beyond the scope of the initial motion. To address this, the substitute motion directs all funding to the Civil and Human Rights Department for neighborhood security grants
Slutty lip
and
gloss.
increases the amount of funding from $1 million to $2 million. It opens up the emergency grants program to all faith-based orgs. I believe that this...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There will be no interruptions of council members as they're speaking.
That's all the Palestinian
Councilmember
warriors.
Yaroslavsky has the floor, and she's not finished.
I believe that this is an appropriate and necessary change to ensure that all faith communities across
Alex
Los Angeles
got it
are able to access
in
these
there.
funds while also addressing the urgent need to increase security at Jewish institutions. I do want to just close by talking about why I believe this funding, regardless of the mechanism used to appropriate it, is so needed right now. The violence we saw on June 23rd at Adas Torah was not the first of its kind, and it won't be the last. It was an escalation of tension felt across the country, and we need to take it seriously and act swiftly. The threats are real, and the fear of a proxy war for what's happening in the Middle East spilling onto our streets here in LA is real. I've said this many times, but I think it important to reiterate that everyone has a right to peaceful protest. It's the foundation of our democracy, and that right must be protected. But that doesn't mean there's a right to violence, and we all of us deserve to feel and to be safe and to live without fear of hate.
Okay. We will have no shouting out. Sergeants, I want you to help me identify whoever continues to shout out. They need to be excluded from the meeting. Councilmember Yaroslavsky has the floor. She won't be interrupted.
Now you need their help.
Thank you, Council President. This substitute motion seeks to urgently increase security services around our houses of worship and religious institutions, no matter the denomination, so that our communities are better prepared to respond to acts of violence or hate. It's a plan supported by the mayor, LAPD, and religious institutions across Los Angeles, many of whom have been forced to divert funding away from social services to security in recent months, and gaps in security still remain. It intentionally mirrors and accelerates a program announced last week by the governor that will allocate $80 million over the next 2 years for neighborhood security grants to help fund security initiatives around our religious institutions. We believe that the funds we appropriate have a high likelihood of being reimbursed by the state once their grant program opens this fall, and the guidelines to be developed by the Civil and Human Rights Department will replicate the state's grant guidelines. This money is intended as a stopgap until the state money starts flowing this fall. In closing, colleagues, I ask for your vote to substitute this new motion for the original one and to continue this item per the city attorney's guidance due to Brown Act concerns. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Zev's daughter, just like her.
And is there a
Just
second?
like him.
Is there a second? Councilmember Bloomfield seconds. Thank you.
She definitely looks like her daddy.
So this is a two-vote process because the first vote is whether to substitute, and then after that, the underlying substitute motion will be agendized at a future meeting. Am I restating that correctly? Okay, very good. So we're not going to take that up just yet. We're going to go through and deal with the rest of the specials, and then we'll come back and we'll vote on the substitute motion.
Through the milk.
Councilmember Rodriguez, did you need to be heard on this?
Of course did.
I'll
Of course
ask
she
my
did.
clarifying question later.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
There's
All right,
a giant
Councilmember
fucking
Hutt.
flower bigger than her face. The unelected
Mr. Chair.
Heather Hutt.
I'd like to call item 118 special and hold on the desk for amending motion. Then I'd also like to call item 119 to be continued on July 30th.
She's got them bug glasses.
Item
So,
150.
I'm sorry, on that item, if there's no objection to the continuance to July 30th,
Correct.
Madam Clerk?
Just to double check, so that would be Councilmember Hutt 119?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, without objection, it is so ordered.
See, she
Continued
seems
until July
Chinese.
30th. Go
And
ahead.
then item 156 continue to July 30th as well.
Very good. Without objection, that will be the order.
I'm sorry, Ms. Hutt. What was that last one?
156.
156 continue to when?
July 30th.
Thank you.
And Councilmember Hutt, on the
Dude, she's
I
kinda yoked.
lost track of the
See her
numbers. Sorry,
arms?
the first one that you mentioned. Does the city attorney have
working out.
the motion
God.
that you wanted to introduce?
Yes,
Yes.
you do.
Okay, on 118, let's go ahead and read in the
She's as
Councilmember Hutt's
qualified as
motion.
Whoopi is.
The motion reads that I move that item number 118 on today's agenda be amended to adopt the following additional recommendations. 1. Transfer/appropriate $5,170,356 from the reserve for extraordinary liability line item in the unappropriated balance fund number 100-58 to aging fund number 100-02, account number 3040, contractual services,
Big Mike.
for the Rapid Response Senior Meals Program. 2. Transfer/appropriate $7,468,292 within the unappropriated balance fund number 100-58 from the reserve for the extraordinary liability line item
There's
to a
billions
new
in
line
reserve
item
money.
in the unappropriated balance entitled Rapid Response Senior Meals Program
Shift it over when
for
they
a
need it, like they're doing
citywide
now.
home-delivered meal service. And 3, instruct the Department of Aging to ensure that the meals provided by all vendors are culturally appropriate to the Asian American and Pacific Islander, African American, Latino, and other communities throughout Los Angeles.
What about whites? So I just get a fucking hamburger and call it a day?
Very good. And
That's it. Here's
was
your
there a second?
hamburger, bro.
Yes, I
French
have a
fries.
second.
Get the fuck out of my
Councilmember
face.
Rahman.
Councilmember,
Culturally
thank you very much.
appropriate.
Thank you.
All right. Thank
Don't
you.
Mr.
people from
President,
all
for the
walks of
record,
life eat all types of
156
food?
is in the special meeting, Ms. Hutt. So we'll make a notation that it's
And there's a
continued,
few, I
but
guess.
that cannot
Some
occur
folks
until
only
the
eat kosher.
special meeting is convened at 1:30.
Such a
Thank
small
you.
segment of the world.
Very
though.
good. Thank you. Councilmember Soto Martinez. Councilmember Soto Martinez.
Hysterical, dude. The knee bending never
Thank you so
stops.
much, Council President. I would like to call item 51 for a recusal. I
here's
have
your
a stake
PB&J.
in
Get out of
a
my
company
face,
that might
David.
benefit from this.
Look at that applesauce.
Which item was that?
51.
Mott's applesauce
51. Very
cup.
good. Thank you. Councilmember Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to call items number 50 and 52 special for an amendment. I believe the city attorney has a copy of it.
I saw cops
Which
last
item was
night,
that,
or-
Mr. Lee?
No, it was
50
U.S. cops.
and 52.
50 and 52.
They found
Mr.
a lady
City
dead in
Attorney.
her house. She choked on a
The motion on item number 50
peanut butter and jelly
reads,
sandwich.
I move that item number 50 on today's council agenda be amended to adopt the revised city attorney ordinance dated June 20th, 2024, attached to the council file in lieu of any prior ordinance. And
Yeah, 7 million, 5 million,
And the
200,000.
seconder?
They give you 200K like it's nothing, like it's
On item
giving
number
$2
50, is
out
there a
of your
second?
pocket.
Councilmember Hutt. Next.
And on item number 52, the motion reads that I move that item number 52 on today's council agenda be amended to adopt the revised city attorney ordinance dated June 20th, 2024, attached to the council
Nah, it
file
wasn't
in lieu
murder,
of
Aaron.
any prior ordinance.
That's what the coroner was talking about. There was peanut butter all over the
And
table.
Councilmember
like,
Hutt
you could
seconds.
see she was trying to spit it out.
Very
Trying
good.
to get it
Thank
out.
you.
She lived by herself.
Councilmember Rahman.
She just had too big of a piece, I guess.
Thank you so
Got
much.
lodged in her throat.
I wanted to call item 77 special and move to note and file the Government Operations Committee report and adopt the joint H&H and Trade, Travel, and Tourism Committee report. For items 126, 130, and 137, I wanted to move to note and file the LAHD report and adopt the recommendations of the CAO report. And for item 136, I have a written amendment here, which the city attorney, I believe, has available.
All right, Mr. City Attorney. Well, first of all, on the first motion,
Yes.
was there a second on
Second.
the
Seconds
removing
on
the
items,
H&H committee report?
For they were not heard in H&H for 126, 130, and 137, so I'm moving to note and file the LAHD report and adopt the CAO report recommendations.
Very good. And is there a second?
Is there a second?
Councilmember Park seconds. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. City Attorney.
Train your dogs to call 911.
The motion reads,
Better do it now, then. No time like the present.
that item number 136 on today's city council agenda be amended as follows.
E-Honda.
Note and file the LAHD report dated May 16th, 2024, and adopt the recommendations in the CAO report dated June 25th, 2024, and strike the following language from the CAO report dated June 25th, 2024. 4. Instruct the city clerk to place on the agenda of the first regular city council meeting on July 1st, 2024, or shortly thereafter. So all of that language is struck. The following instructions. A. Request the controller to transfer $1,596,000 from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, number 44G, 43, account number 43A411, unallocated balance to the Accessible Housing Fund, number 10D
Okay, Chris,
slash
I'm
43,
tired.
account number 43A698, retrofit. And B, authorize the general manager of LAHD or their designee to obligate and disperse funds for the projects in the amounts not to
Which black
exceed the
dress?
lists
That one right
below.
there?
And the table title is Retrofit Funding Obligations. The
missed
first
her.
one is Mercy Housing California 73 LP, Fund
Legacy,
10D
he's
slash
a
43,
lawyer.
account
He's a
number
bar-certified city attorney.
A698 retrofit in the
Guarantee
amount
you
of
he can read.
$2,535,000.
Probably really high IQ, I bet.
The second one is Paul Williams
Just
Apartments
can't comb his
LP. That's fund slash account 10D 43A 698
pass the bar.
retrofit in the amount of
Told you. Had a few friends that tried to pass it,
$1,490,000.
they couldn't.
Number
And they
3
are
is
bright.
Metro
They are
Villas
not
Phase
dummies.
2 Los Angeles LP. Fund slash account
Definitely a tough
10D slash 43A 698 retrofit. That's $2,100,000.
That's it.
And the
I
last
caught him
one is
drinking that
Jordan
Circle
Downs
K coffee
Phase
one morning, and that was
1B
it.
LP. Fund
He's been
slash
Circle K
account
ever since.
10D slash
I don't think I've ever been to a
43A
Circle K. If I have, I
698
never
retrofit
can't
in the
remember.
amount of $2 million.
There's an AM PM
And
closer.
it was seconded
I
by
don't even know where there's a
Councilmember
Circle K
Blumenfield.
near my house.
Very good. Thank you very much.
there's
And
not a lot of them.
Councilmember Rahman, on item 77, referring to
7711s
the H&H
AM, PM.
report,
Why
I
would
will
I go
second
looking for
that
Circle K
motion.
unless it was just random?
So 77 will be before us as well. Councilmember Rahman's motion on 77
I think
will
it's
be
trimmed up,
before us.
stranger.
Okay.
I mean, again,
we're
it's
almost
kinda
there,
thinning,
folks.
you know,
Sorry.
so I guess, you know,
okay.
like all
I
men,
would
you don't
like
wanna
to
cut it off where it's
call
thinning.
items 2 and 3
what you got.
special for amendments. Mr. City Attorney, if you're prepared on those, please read them into the record. Items 2 and 3.
On item number 2, the motion reads that that on the matter of an application for determination of public convenience or necessity for the sale of alcoholic beverages off-site consumption at 7-Eleven Market located at 4377 Vineland Avenue, item number 2 on today's
Hollywood.
council agenda, be amended to adopt the following. 1. Determine that the issuance of a liquor license at 7-Eleven Market, located at 4377 Vineland Avenue, will serve the public convenience or necessity and will not tend to create a law enforcement problem. 2. Grant the application for determination of public convenience or necessity for the sale of alcoholic beverages for off-site consumption at 7-Eleven Market, located at 4377 Vineland Avenue.
Don't have enough
And
liquor
3.
stores?
Instruct the city clerk to transmit this determination to the State Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control as required findings under Business and Professions Code, Section 23958.4.
So they're going to be able to serve liquor or beer? Because they serve beer
Thank
now.
you. And Councilmember Padilla.
Is there really a
seconds. Thank
difference?
you.
Isn't it all just alcohol? Isn't it all
And
just
the
liquor?
motion with regards to item number
Guess
3
not. It's all
reads
alcohol,
that
not
I
liquor.
move that item number
So
3
they want
on
liquor now?
today's
They wanna
council
sell
agenda
Jack Daniels,
be
is what you're
amended to
telling me?
adopt the following.
Alcohol?
1. Determine that the issuance of a liquor license at Caraglanian Gas Station 76,
He wants
located
one
at
too, Caraglanian, Armenian
12856 West Sherman Way, will serve the public convenience or necessity and will not tend to create a law enforcement problem. 2. Grant the application for the determination of public convenience or necessity for the sale of alcoholic beverages for off-site consumption at the Caraglanian Gas Station 76,
beer, yeah.
located at 12856 West Sherman Way.
Oscar, they
And
caught the
3.
bear.
Instruct the city clerk to transmit this determination to the State Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control as required findings under Business and Professions Code, Section 23958.4.
Large bear captured.
Thank you. And that also was seconded by Councilmember
Large bear
Padilla.
captured after running
next,
loose in
Councilmember
LA's
De Leon.
Chatsworth neighborhood. Just now. Just got the
Can we
alert
get
on my phone.
118
There
and
you go.
149 for
Ow.
amending motions? City Attorney has
They was
the
chasing that bear.
language.
Very
And 54 for
Baby
comments,
bear,
please.
put it back in its hill.
I'm sorry, Mr.
Better not kill it.
De Leon. What was the last one for comments, sir?
54?
50, 54, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And 118 and 149 for amending motions, city attorney has the language.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. City
Michael,
Attorney.
the site controls that kind
And
of
with
thing. I
regards
have
to item
figure it
number
out
118,
if
the
I can
motion reads
actually
that
set
I
a
move
actual
that item number
discount, 'cause I'd
118
like
on
to put them
today's
down for a little
agenda
bit.
be
I would
amended to
love to do
adopt
that.
the following additional recommendation.
But I don't
Instruct the
control the
Department of
site,
Aging
Michael.
to
It's their
report with a
site.
plan
I just
to
put a- I
transition
upload my
seniors from the
artwork,
Rapid
and then they make
Response
the
Senior
stuff, they
Meals
ship it,
Program
they send
to
it,
other meal
they
programs
deal
if
with,
additional
you know,
funding is not
questions.
identified. The transition plan should be developed in coordination with
Thank
the
you for your
respective
service.
council offices to address any gaps in service delivery.
Embarrassing. Got it.
I'll second it. Next.
You know where they serve alcohol, a lot of times it becomes.
And on
a
item number
point of
149,
riffraff.
the motion reads that I move that item number
I
149
don't want
on
them
today's
outside
council
drinking,
supplemental agenda
down
be
the
amended to
street
adopt
drinking.
the following in lieu of recommendation number 1. Transfer and appropriate $250,000 from the CD14 Real Property Trust Fund, number 696, to the following accounts within the Bureau of Street Services Fund number 100/86. $200,000 to account number 001090, overtime, and $50,000 to account number 003040, contractual services,
Yeah,
for
this is a
additional
record.
street tree care and maintenance services
45
in
minutes
Council
in, we
District
still have gotten
14
nothing done
in
but
fiscal
just
year
talk about the agenda
2024
items.
to 2025.
And that was seconded by Mr. Blumenfield?
All right, Councilmember Blumenfield seconds. Thank you. Next, Councilmember Price.
Oh, God.
Thank
Fucking
you, Mr.
Grady's here.
President. Out of an abundance of caution, I'm recusing myself from items 38, 39, 40, 126, and 130, because as presented, I can't determine who's working on those projects. Additionally, I'm recusing myself from items
Of course you're recusing
108,
yourself.
134, 136, 145, and 158, due to my wife's employer having worked with applicants in the past. And per the city attorney, I'm recusing myself from item 141 because I am a housing provider. Thank you.
All right,
Housing
very good.
provider,
Thank you.
AKA
So all of those
landlord.
items will be held on the desk for
Who
purposes of
the
Mr.
fuck
Price's
says I'm a
recusal.
housing provider? Say
Mr.
you're
Price.
a landlord.
I'm asked to be hold a 109 on the
Landlord
desk.
against the
Which one?
Is it
Pending
racist?
amendment 109.
Is it like
109.
master
I
bedroom?
think the
landlord not
city attorney has that amendment.
anymore.
Is there a motion?
You ain't no lord.
Mr. City Attorney on item 109.
Bro, you think you're some kind of god? I can see it.
I see. Okay, so that is a closed
see.
session item.
You still
Okay,
say
so we're just
master
going to hold that
bedroom.
one
So do I.
on the desk for the moment,
most
Mr.
of the
Price.
one I would assume, Randy.
In that it's
You
a
know.
closed session item.
That's fine.
We're
Okay.
not going to bend that knee, are we?
So with that,
Stop.
Mr. City Attorney,
Just starts there. Where does it end?
going back to 104 for a moment, I don't believe the substitute motion was read into the record. So again, the substitute motion, if we do vote to substitute, will not be voted upon today under any circumstances. That will have to be
They got a lot of crusty
delayed
mofos over
so that
here.
it can be properly agendized. But I do want to take the moment now to read it into the record. So please go ahead and do that.
Okay. The substitute motion reads, over the past months, the city has seen a significant increase in violence and religious-based hate crimes at schools, religious institutions, and culturally significant locations
You're lying.
that has at times spilled into our neighborhoods and communities. The rise in violence has stoked fear in religious communities across the city. While the governor has announced that grant funding under the California State Nonprofit Security Grant Program will be available starting in the fall to support security services and programs for nonprofits, including religious institutions, there is an immediate need to provide funding to religious institutions and other nonprofit organizations for security services now, with the goal of having those funds reimbursed in the future from state or federal grants. The Civil, Human Rights, and Equity Department has administered grant programs to support nonprofit religious institutions across the city in the past, and has the ability to quickly stand up a new grant program to provide community safety grants. Given the urgent need to address recent issues, funds should be provided to the department to implement a grant program to support community safety training,
Not a fitted one,
safety
Ron.
services, including but not limited to target hardening and other physical safety upgrades at religious institutions and nonprofit organizations, community monitoring, patrols, and response services, and related support services. The guidelines for this program should mirror those of the state program for consistency and to maximize the potential for reimbursement from the state. Additionally, once the state program begins distributing funding, the city's program should be terminated as soon as possible thereafter. I therefore move that the City Council direct the CAO to transfer $2 million in the unappropriated balance fund number 100-58, reserved for mid-year adjustments line item in the Civil, Human Rights, and Equity Department, fund number 100-15, account number 003040, for a grants program to support nonprofit community security services, including support for nonprofit religious institutions of all denominations to implement community safety enhancements as described above. I further move that the CAO be authorized to make any necessary corrections, clarifications, or revisions to the above fund transfer instructions, including any new instructions in order to effectuate the intent of this motion, and including any corrections and changes to fund or account numbers. Said corrections/clarifications/changes may be made orally, electronically, or by any other means.
All right. Thank you. I'm sorry,
spider,
Councilmember
huh?
Yaroslavsky, did
Okay.
you need to be heard again on this? Okay. So that was the substance of the substitute motion.
Vogel,
so
I would say
the first
two.
vote is whether to substitute, and
They
we
can't
will
get to the
take that
200
vote.
fucking items that
Councilmember
they have
Rodriguez, did you want to be heard on the
on the
motion
agenda
on the motion
today,
to
which is
substitute,
stupid.
not
Why
the
would you do
underlying
that?
motion? But
Yes,
to
well, I
fuck the
had a
public.
question because it talks about being referred to
Put it in the chat
Civil
room, yes
Human
or no.
Rights,
Is
but
the
I'd like
flower
to
too
also be
big?
referred
I
to
say
Budget
yes, it
Committee,
is too
because this
big.
has not been deliberated by Budget Committee.
It's supposed to have a little
So
flower.
I'd like it dual referred to
Not a
Budget
flower the size
and
of your fucking
Civil
head.
Human Rights.
And Spindler already went off on her.
All right, Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
Yeah, with all due respect,
Yes, yes.
we were hoping this could be voted on today and get the money out the door as quickly as possible.
One no.
Again,
And the
folks,
city
says no.
attorney's office advised us that that wasn't possible, given that
Everybody
the
else says yes.
substituted motion was substantially different from the original one.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Yaroslavsky, hold on a second. Folks, you'll have your opportunity to speak if you wish to speak at the microphone. But this is not a town hall, and there won't be shouting out and disruption of the work of the city council. I've said this multiple times. I don't want to have to say it again. People who shout out will be removed from this meeting.
Sit there quietly
So
with your
please,
Palestinian starter
let
kit.
the council members do their work. Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
So with all due respect, we can't vote on this today and start to stand up this program. The hope is that we can mimic what the state is going to be doing later this year. The more committees we send this to, the longer this takes. I think the less safe all of our religious institutions will be over this summer. I've been in close contact with LAPD. They have serious concerns about public safety on our streets this summer. And the longer we mire this down in endless committees, once we come back from recess, I think the less safe Los Angeles will be. And I'm very worried about the fact that we can't approve this today. The temperature is high on all sides, as you see here today. And it's high not only in here, but it's high on our streets. And our institutions are feeling that, and there's a lot of fear, and there are big gaps in funding that the state money will hopefully fill, but it's not going to be available till the fall. So the longer we screw around by going to committees, and I understand that this is not an insignificant amount of money. I would not be bringing this if I wasn't very worried about public safety in Los Angeles. And when we can make our institutions safer, I think Angelinos are going to be safer, and I think people are going to feel significant relief to know that the city is filling in this stopgap way. And the expectation is going to be that that money comes back to us as reimbursable money, which is why we're going to mimic the state's program, which already has guidelines that we can just copy and paste and implement here at the city faster. But if we're not going to do it faster, there's really no point in doing it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Councilmember Padilla.
Is there any way that we can get LAPD here to tell us
No.
how they're feeling, or any way that we can get a representative from civil
Not
rights?
during this meeting. No, we're going to have to.
That's all I needed to know.
We're going to have to vote on the motion to substitute today. We are not going to hear the substance of the substituted motion.
I love it how you all need them after you try to defund them.
But when this does come back to council, we could have LAPD.
Oh,
or
they need
whoever
you so
here,
bad. I
because
would
it
just
will
tell
be
them
discussed.
LAPD.
So we're not actually
No.
passing
Handle it all
this.
yourself.
But the idea that Ms. Yaroslavsky is putting forward,
Go get
which
you some top flight
is
security.
that because the state has a program, and we want
Go get
to
you
make
an
sure
ambassador.
that program gets implemented as fast as possible. If we just mimic the state program, then that money could be reimbursable. So the idea is to do something quickly, get civil rights to do a grant program that is identical to the state, so that when we get that, we can just reimburse that money as soon as the state program. State program probably won't be done till October. There's not a lot of time, but this enables a little bit of a stopgap measure to get some money out the door and get the state program basically up and running faster, because the temperature is so hot. So that's why I urge an aye vote on the motion to substitute moving forward today. And then we'll actually have to vote on it, whether we pass it in July.
Sean H., are you the one
Councilmember
that's
Padilla,
ordering
did you
the
want to be heard
cards
again?
from me on
This
eBay?
is why I also wanted to talk to civil rights, is because there's plenty of motions lingering through the city, through council, related to reimbursements and the time of reimbursements.
As it relates
So I
to-
wanted to ask, how are we positive that they're even going to be able to put these funds out within this time period? It almost seems like it's something that's going to be impossible, whether we mimic the structure of the state or not. So what's the answer to that? We're guaranteed that this money is just going to pour out. We know that religious institutions and nonprofits are ready to apply. And how do we guarantee any sort of equity from institutions throughout the entire city of Los Angeles? I just have a lot of questions.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Rodriguez, did you need to be heard again?
I think you should
Yeah,
just
and
hire the
I'm trying to
dumbass kids.
ascertain why dual referring to both
They'll be your
budget
security.
and to civil human rights is slowing down the process. If we're not voting on this item today, I don't understand why we can't send it to the appropriate committees. We have a lot of financial decisions to make. There's allocations of resources that are being proposed in a variety of amendments that are coming forward even today. So how is it slowing it down? They can be referred concurrently so that we have a full understanding. I don't understand.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to close debate on the motion to substitute. The motion to substitute is now before us. So on the question of whether to substitute, Councilmember Yaroslavsky is calling for an aye vote, and then we will vote on, because your motion is relevant to the actually,
He doesn't know what he's saying.
it may be appropriate to vote on the motion on Councilmember Rodriguez's motion first, because it was most recently made. Madam Clerk, what say you on the?
Jonathan, it'll be 10
because
more
it really
days. I was
goes
just
to the
looking now. So
substance
10 more
of
days
that
and we'll be back on
substituted
Twitch.
motion.
We've served 20 of the 30-day suspension. Today is day 20.
So at this time, Councilmember
Yeah, she's kinda yoked.
Rodriguez
Look at her arms.
made a motion to refer the motion that is on the agenda as number 104 to the Budget and Finance and Innovation Committee,
was
as
buffering.
well as to the Civil Rights, Equity,
Time for you.
Immigrant, and CRIAD committee. So that should be the first vote,
Okay.
Mr. President.
Let me just clarify that, because that's not what I understood. I understood Councilmember Rodriguez to be speaking to the substituted motion.
What's up, Russell?
So if we can vote on the
Should
motion
like to
to
see it.
substitute, after we vote on the motion to substitute, we will then vote on Councilmember Rodriguez's motion to dual refer.
too big.
Councilmember Soto Martinez.
I just have a question for just a clarification.
equity.
My understanding
They
was
don't
that
want equality.
if the substitute motion went forward, it would come back here to full council. Now we're talking about it being referred to two committees?
They want monetary means. Something tangible from you.
So what we're voting on now is whether to substitute. After we vote on whether to substitute, we cannot take up the substituted motion because it hasn't been agendized and it's substantially different than the motion that's currently on the agenda. If that happens, if we vote to substitute, then Councilmember Rodriguez's motion will be before us to refer the matter to the Budget and Finance Committee. Councilmember Ahmed.
Just a little bit confused about the referral question, because the original motion was a Rule 16 motion, which was supposed to come in front of the full council. So I'm trying to understand what is the interaction between Councilmember Rodriguez's motion and the original intent of the motion, which was a Rule 16. Thank you.
Well, if
Notice how they're all here,
we
though?
vote to
They're all paying
substitute, the Rule
attention and they're
16
all
referral
here.
will no longer apply.
Then
Because
as
there
soon
will
as-
be a
let's see how they
substitute.
are when
We will
they-
have
people start talking.
substituted the. We will have approved substitution that would then moot the Rule 16 referral of the
Oh,
original.
none of
motion.
them do, Troy. They all got.
So
they all
it
got
would be
fucking
subject to
six-figure, well into
referral under the
six-figure
ordinary
salaries. They
referral
start at like
process,
220.
and we would then vote on Councilmember Rodriguez's motion specifically to refer to Budget and Finance. Okay.
Just to be clear, because then by the substitution that eliminates the Rule 16,
Exactly.
what we're basically doing is acting as if this motion is being introduced for the first time.
That is
So it's
precisely
not,
right.
got it. So everyone's got it? So we vote on the substitution, and then I will ask for an aye vote on the motion to dual refer to both Budget and Finance and Civil Human Rights.
Exactly right. That is the state of affairs. That is the actual process that we will pursue. But Councilmember Ahmed.
Sorry, just a follow-up question. I understand Councilmember Yaroslavsky's request for a speedy consideration of this, and so I'm curious about, is there a procedural pathway to that speediness that we have available to us? Thank you.
Well, the process would be either you could vote no on Councilmember Rodriguez's motion, or if that motion prevails and it is referred to those committee chairs could always choose to waive consideration as well. There's a number of different ways that it could happen, but the referral at least allows the jurisdiction of those committees
Wonder if he
to
had
be able to consider the
Taco
matter.
Bell this morning.
So with that, members, I'm going to close debate on the motion to substitute. The motion to substitute on whether to substitute is now before us. Councilmember Yaroslavsky is calling for an aye vote. So on that item, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
Let's see.
14 ayes.
Thank you.
What a shock.
Next, yes, Madam Clerk.
Next is Councilmember Rodriguez's motion to refer the 105, the substituted motion, to Budget and Finance and Innovation and CREID Committee, and it was seconded by Ms.
Councilmember Padilla.
Thank you.
Okay, so Councilmember Rodriguez's motion is now before us. Councilmember Rodriguez calls for an aye vote. Councilmember Yaroslavsky is asking for a no vote on that motion. Please open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the votes.
8 ayes, 6 noes.
This motion is referred to the two committees.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Now, with that, members, I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, What else is available for us to vote on at this point before we go to public comment?
Finally.
Smoke.
Still got to do one more or so. Then we'll get some public comment in here. I don't know if they're
Those would
honoring
be
anybody.
items 4.
I'm
Fuck.
sorry, whoever is shouting out, please don't shout out. We're trying to conduct the business of the council. Madam Clerk.
Mr. President, council may now vote on items 4, 5, 8 through 10, 13 through 16, 19, 21, 22.
That's it, Lisa.
24 through 28,
Wait till it gets real quiet.
31,
Just
33 through 35, 41 through 46,
then you just point at the person next to you. Dang.
48,
You walk over a couple.
49,
Damn.
53, 55 through 76, 78.
Not your fault. What can you do?
And that is all, sir.
All right, those items are now before
Fucking
us.
knock two.
I see no members wishing to be heard on those items, so let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the
Drop
votes.
dust them all. Blame it on Taco Bell.
14 ayes.
Just give them a wet one.
All right, Madam Clerk, what's next before us?
Next would be the
I
items
wonder if
called
they,
special
if
for
they could
separate
hear
votes.
it, would they say anything
Very good. Why
about
don't
it?
we go ahead and take those one at a time? Or if you
They
could
tell
read
you to
them
stop
out, we
doing
could
it?
perhaps do them collectively. But
Yes, I can do
make sure
the ones
Need one of those
that
dudes with the fart machines
the
in
ones
there.
that I will read out now are the ones
do the prank
called
videos?
special by Councilmember Hernandez for separate votes. And those are
Then go
items
to the mic and just let
6,
one rip when you're at the mic.
7, 11,
I'm sorry, Tawana.
12,
Absolutely gross.
17, 18, 20, 29,
I don't have a chalupa
30,
drop, but I have this one.
32,
Maybe it's in this
36,
machine.
37,
No.
I think
This one's great for Taco Bell.
I'm about to go down to Taco Bell and get
oh,
me a
and finally,
blast.
39.
all right, members.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I can't
79.
find it. Where is
All right,
it?
members, those items
Yo quiero
were
Taco
all
Bell.
called special by Councilmember Hernandez for a separate vote. If any members wish to vote separately on any of those
Sometimes
items,
I can't remember which machine
let's
it's in. There's
do
two
that. Let me
machines.
know that now. Otherwise, we can vote on them collectively. Councilmember Soto Martinez.
Yes, thank you so much, Council President. Can we vote on 79
Spit on that
separately,
thing.
independent of this bunch?
Okay, very good. Thank you. So we will take 79 off of that
Love the
list that
Baja
was just
Blast.
read by the clerk. Anybody else wish to be heard or call any of those items separately? All right, then let's take up all of those items just read by the clerk, other than item 79,
Yeah, it was electric.
and let's open the
We
roll on
watched
those
it
items.
live. It's fun.
Close the roll and tabulate the votes.
12 ayes, 2 noes.
Thank you. We'll go next to item 79. On that item, I see no members wish. Oh, Councilmember Soto
This is a
Martinez.
record
Okay,
for
go
them
ahead.
to do all this without
Thank you so
honoring
much, Council
somebody.
President. I just want to
And
sort
not
of
getting
remind
the
folks in the
public
public on what we're voting on
Hour,
today.
18 minutes in.
This is now the second vote, which is oftentimes procedural, but I want to use this opportunity to continue to voice my disapproval of where the direction of this council is going. It's very rare when every single department that comes up and testifies about an item are in complete agreement. We had the Office of Inspector General, the City Attorney, the CLA, even the command staff of LAPD saying that this is a bad,
I think so,
a bad thing we're going to put in front of the voters. And so I think the intentions were well. I was a mover on this motion. I seconded this. I was co-presenting this motion, but where it landed is not where I feel is the correct thing for the city of Los Angeles. And so I know I'll be on the losing vote on this, but I just want to once again reiterate my disapproval of this, and thanks for those folks joining me on a no vote.
Very good. Thank you. So Councilmember, I'm sorry. Item 79 is now before us. I see no other members wishing to be heard. So on item 79, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
11 ayes, 3 noes.
Thank you. I'd like next to recognize Councilmember Lee.
Mr. President, I apologize. We have a lot of things flying around today with a long agenda, and I misunderstood. I'd like to make a motion to reconsider item number 104 because my vote will change the outcome.
All right. Is the motion to reconsider Councilmember Rodriguez's motion, or is it to reconsider the motion to substitute?
To reconsider Councilmember Monica Rodriguez's motion.
Okay. All right. So, members, sorry, this is a two-vote process. We first have to vote on whether to substitute. Whether to reconsider. Councilmember Lee asks for reconsideration. So the first vote is to reconsider, and then we will vote again on Councilmember Rodriguez's motion. So on reconsideration, is there a second for the motion for reconsideration? Seconded by Councilmember Park. All right, that motion is before us. It's not debatable. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
12 ayes, 2 noes.
All right. Councilmember
Yeah,
Rodriguez's
Rodriguez.
motion is again before us, and again, Councilmember Rodriguez asked for an aye vote. Councilmember Yaroslavsky asked for a no vote. Let's open the roll.
Looks red. He looks like he'd been out
Close
in
the roll
sun.
and tabulate the votes.
See, how come they don't fucking tell them to sit down
7
with their
ayes, 7
signs?
noes.
But Mr. Herman does it. They tell him to sit down. Or what's his name? Rosenberg?
All right.
This motion fails.
Forget
Okay.
Mike. Make it his name.
All right. Madam Clerk, what is next before us?
Tell him to sit down. Sign's too big. I see at least 4
Is
or
there
5
anything
with
else available
Palestinian
for us,
starter
Madam
kits
Clerk,
there.
that we can vote on at this point before we go to public comment?
They do, though. That's their voters, Randy. That's their voter base. They just pretend to act like
no,
they're
sir.
acting
At this time, no.
in
All right.
good faith for both sides, but they're not.
Very good. Then with that, Madam Clerk, if you could please
What's up, Brock?
read in the instructions for public comment, and Mr. City Attorney as well.
Yes, sir. Just a quick announcement before I read in the
Please.
instructions,
Just another
sir.
million things quickly.
For as a point of clarification, for
course.
item 129, please note, Council File 23-0600S120 has an incorrect meeting item title. The recommendations are correctly stated on the agenda. The item title is regarding transfer of funds relative to the 4th financial status report for fiscal year 2023 and 2024. And for the, Mr. President, there are closed session items which were heard in Budget and Finance Committee, if council wishes to consider that.
Very good. Well, I'd like to turn to the chair of our Budget, Finance, and Innovation Committee, Councilmember Blumenfield,
You
for
tend
the
to
committee's recommendations
get more views
on those
of
items.
doing both buy it nows and auctions.
Yes, these items were heard
because you're hitting two
in
types of
Budget and
people.
Finance
Some
Innovation
only
Committee
does
in closed session, and I don't
auctions,
think we
some
need to
only
hear
do
them
buy it now, so now you'll hit both
closed
of
session
those
here, so I recommend
streams.
approval per the committee.
Okay, so we're holding 109
Other than
on the
that,
desk
I'm trying to think,
at
is there
Mr.
anything
Price's
else that you could
request.
really do
Are there
to
any of the other
stand
closed
out?
sessions
I mean,
that any members would like
push
to call
people from
special
other
for
sites to
questions
your
or
eBay, like I do.
for
You guys ask me, I put the link down. People
to
go
be
and
heard in
follow.
closed session? I
Or
see
they
none.
just even browse
so,
through the store,
Mr.
whether they
Blumenfield, we can
follow
take
or
those
buy
items up
anything.
now in open session
So
once
things
the
like that
clerk
too
reads
on
the
your Instagram.
recommendations.
You know, trying to leave
Yes,
a
sir.
link on some of these
Item
other
106
chat rooms that allow you
is
Twitter.
the case
things like
entitled
that.
Damian Brown versus Los Angeles Fire Department et al. And there is a recommendation to expend up to $345,000 in settlement.
Wow.
Item 107 in the case entitled
345.
Brady Dunning versus City of Los Angeles et al. There is a recommendation to expend up to $950,000 in settlement. Item 110 in the case entitled Rosalina Reyes et al. Versus City of Los Angeles et al. There is a recommendation to expend up to $1,073,312 in settlement.
That's $2
Item
million on 3
111
cases.
in the case entitled Patricia Hines versus City
Yeah,
of
Randy.
Los Angeles et al. There is a recommendation to expend up to $1,850,000 in settlement. Item 112 in
$3
the
million
case
in 4
entitled
cases.
Maria del Carmen Sevilla versus City of Los Angeles et al. There is a recommendation to expend up to $150,000 in settlement.
3.1
Item
million.
113 in the case
4.
entitled City of Los Angeles 6th Street Bridge Sanitary Sewer Overflow, there is a recommendation to approve the settlement agreement. Item 114 in the case entitled Lucia Gonzalez versus City of Los Angeles et al. There is a recommendation to expend up to $175,000 in settlement. Item 115 in the case of Danielle M. Halyak versus City of Los Angeles et al. There is a recommendation to refuse to provide any further legal representation to former Los Angeles police officer Espadas. Item 116 in the case entitled Emily Perez et al. Versus City of Los Angeles et al. There's a recommendation to expend up to $1 million in settlement. Item 153 in the case entitled Don Lorne versus City of Los Angeles, there's a recommendation to expend up to $850,000 in settlement. Item 154 in the case entitled Serranosh Sarah Arakilian versus City of Los Angeles, there's a recommendation to expend up to $300,000 in settlement. Item 155 in the case entitled Septarshi Majumdar versus City of Los Angeles et al. There is a recommendation to expend up to $440,000 in settlement.
All right, so there's 5.9 million in about 11 cases that they're being sued on, and they just
All right.
want to just
Thank you.
pretty much
Those items
settle.
are now before us.
So there's 6
I see
million
no members
essentially
wishing
of
to
our
be
tax
heard,
dollars
so on those
completely down the drain
recommendations, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate
because of
the
certain
votes.
actions, whether by the city or law
14
enforcement,
ayes.
that cost
Very
us
good.
the money.
Let's go next to public comment, Madam Clerk, unless there's something else. Is there anything else,
Jesus.
Madam Clerk?
Yes,
6
sir.
million gone.
As indicated on the agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669-254-5252
Hey,
and
you want-
use
if
meeting
you wanna
ID
call in,
number
there's your number.
160-535-8466, then press pound. Press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted to the meeting, press star 9 to
75.
request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated
Michael.
Zoom voice will
Took
ask
it
you to
off a
press
while
star
back.
6 to
About a
unmute.
month ago.
Again, call 669-254-5252 and use
I don't
meeting
think so,
ID
TS,
number
man, but there-
160-535-8466, then press
None
pound.
of those
Press pound again when
11 now.
prompted for participant ID. Once admitted to the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it's your turn to speak, an
I think
automated
they
Zoom
already
voice will ask
have,
you to
Randy.
press
I think
star
it's to the
6 to
point where
unmute.
they're just saying, hey, we're wasting too much
To people
money.
providing public
We don't
comment,
want to go to
when it is
we
your
don't
turn
wanna
to
go
speak,
court against
either
these
at the
people. We're gonna
podium
lose
or on the
even
phone,
more. So
please
just give them
state which of the agenda items
830
you would like to speak to.
950 grand to just
You will
go
have
away.
1 minute per item, up to 3 minutes total for the items open for public comment.
Like the first
We
guy
will
was
tell you when your time
suing
is
the
up.
fire department.
When
Maybe
speaking on the
wrongful
agenda
termination.
items, you must be on topic.
He's going to get
Our goal is to get through as many
350,000.
speakers as we can. If you are not on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get one brief warning from me or the president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on
Popcorn,
topic.
That's it, man.
If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we will move on to the next speaker. The items open for public comment on the agenda are items 1 through 3, items 82
you could build
through
a
105,
a shelter for
item
$6 million,
117,
Polly. I know you
and
can
items
get it done.
121 through 152.
Problem is
so let me
where?
repeat. The items open for public comment on the
land
agenda that's
alone
a part
could
of
cost
the
you $2
regular
million.
meeting are items 1
But
through
$4 million
3,
to put a structure
items
up, for
82
sure.
through
You'll get a nice
105,
structure for $4
item
million.
117,
And you'll own the land.
and items 121 through 152.
That is absolutely doable.
Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment. During general public comment, members of the public may
they don't
speak to
think like
any
that.
of the other items or anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. For members of the public calling in, when it is your turn to speak, an automated message from Zoom will prompt you to press *6 to unmute yourself. If you do not do so, council staff will prompt you once more.
Could do a lot of things with $6
At that
million,
point, you
dude.
need to immediately unmute yourself, or unfortunately, you will forfeit your speaking time and we will have to move on to the next caller. Finally, because of a brief time delay between the live meeting and the broadcast, 2 things are important.
Yeah, it's going to be a
First,
record-long show, I
while
have a
waiting for your
feeling.
turn to speak, please keep an
Buckle
ear
up.
to the phone so you know in real time when it is your turn to press *6 to unmute. Second, if you're listening to this meeting on another device, please turn down the volume on that device immediately when it's your turn to speak. Between the feedback and the time delay, it will cause a great deal of confusion if you continue to listen on your other devices. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So
That'd be a
with
crazy
that,
thing,
I'm going
Golf.
to call a number of names. We're going to try to get through
You know, that was the crazy
as
thing
many
about
speakers
Abraham
as
Lincoln.
we can. We will not get through
There was no
everybody,
taxes then.
but we're going to take at least
But he
an
saw
hour
the
of
shamble
public comment
of what the
here
what
in the council
country was
chambers.
left after Civil
So,
War. So he
I just
created
ask
a
if you
tax
can
to
keep your
rebuild
comments
everything.
brief and
He said it's
non-repetitive
only
so
gonna
that
be
we
10
have
years.
An
10
opportunity
years,
for
we're
as
gonna
many
stop
speakers
it.
as possible
Sure
to
shit,
speak.
the day of
So
that
I'm gonna,
10 years
I'm going
came,
to call your
got
a
rid
bunch
of
of
that
names
tax
as I
and
call your
used all
names.
the
Make
money
your
to
way to the
rebuild
left-hand
things that
side of the
was destroyed
chambers
during the
and
Civil
start
War.
lining up. You don't have to speak in the order that I call you, but please do
And then
not
the ones
line
to
up until I
follow
call your name.
from him
Because I'm trying to be
from the other
as fair
party
about
saw
this
how,
as I can
how
in
he
taking
implemented
people's
it
names.
and
So
just kept
please
it going.
do not
and then
try
the
to
other
jump
ones
into
decided,
line
well, let's
until I
just
call
keep
your
it going.
name. Okay.
So now we're
So,
taxed on everything.
Sofia Mendoza,
and there's all
Cristina
the taxation with
Campos,
zero representation.
Belen Garcia, Elba Cuevas, Claudio Vasquez,
Hold on a second.
Lucia Abad,
Hello. Oh, good.
Anna Chan,
Yeah, a little bit.
Candido, Stuart Waldman, Ricardo Garcia, Fernando Ochoa, Nolan Marshall, Rich Sarian, Jenny Chavez, and Nella McOsker.
Sorry about that, guys. My eye doctor. The optometrist.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Ok.
Okay.
Hola, mi nombre es Claudio Vázquez. Me gustaría hablar sobre el punto del South LA CPIO y el comentario público. Soy miembro de ACE.
Un segundo, señor. Un segundo, señor. Hello, my name is Claudio Vázquez, and I would like to talk about South LA CPIO. Continúe.
He estado viviendo por 18 años en esta ciudad y apoyo la enmienda del South, la CPIO.
I have been living here for 18 years in this city, and I support CPIO.
Esta es necesaria para prevenir el desplazamiento y proteger a los inquilinos contra el acoso, proteger las características de nuestros barrios y agregar viviendas accesibles necesarias que en nuestro vecindario.
With this is going to help us to protect the renter from harassment and to make sure that we can continue adding extra housing that is accessible.
Queremos agradecer por escuchar las necesidades de la comunidad y aprobar la ordenanza con todas las enmiendas incluidas que se le agregaron, lo que agregará protecciones adicionales para los inquilinos.
We want to thank you for taking the time to look into this and to support the necessities of the community. And we ask you to please approve this ordinance to give the needed protection to the renters.
Y yo estoy aquí porque he vivido un acoso demasiado horrible. Me han puesto la carta Ellis desde 2019 y pues hasta ahorita estoy peleando y me han puesto una demanda y quiero que quiten esa carta Ellis porque ahorita lo que estoy sufriendo yo es terrible.
The reason why I'm here is because I have been going through a terrible harassment because they gave me the Ellis letter in 2019 and they sued me and I've been fighting the Ellis letter and it's been terrible.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Okay, next speaker, please.
Good morning still. Stuart Waldman. I am president of the Valley Industry and Commerce Association, speaking on item 54.
Big Stu.
The Convention Center. For far too long, the Convention Center has been pushed aside. This project is important. The joint report from the CAO and the CLA makes it clear that delaying is no longer an option if we want to maintain our status as a destination for conventions and large events.
They'll never do that.
Cities
Vegas
across
will always
the
kill
country,
you.
like Las Vegas, Orlando, and Chicago, have been aggressively investing in their convention facilities, and if we don't take action now, we'll fall behind and lose our edge. The economic stakes are high. Conventions drive billions in economic activity, supporting hotels, restaurants, transportation, and other economic sectors that depend on tourism. On top of that, expansion would help generate $2.9 billion in new revenue over 30 years from bookings, as well as $600 million in revenue for the city's general fund. So this is the type of investment we need to make in our economic powerhouse to maintain our economic powerhouse status. I hope you'll support this.
Thank you.
He's not
Next speaker,
lying,
please.
but Vegas will always smash it out. You know, Vegas is every show here, the weed shows, everything.
Buenos días.
Always go there.
Mi nombre
Always.
es Sofía Mendoza, soy miembro de ACE y necesito traducción.
Hello, my name is Sofia Mendoza. I'm an ASE member and I need interpretation.
Estoy aquí para hablar sobre el punto 50, 51 y 52.
I'm here to talk about item 50, 51, and 52.
Porn awards are over there.
Me gustaría hablar sobre el del sur LA CPO.
I would like to talk
Right,
about
Texas,
South
that's
LA
all.
CPIO.
It's true.
I'm sorry, can we hold her time for a second?
Un segundo, señora.
Just wanted to clarify. So the items you mentioned are not open for public comment, but you have 1 minute for general public comment. So go ahead, and we will pause your time when the interpreter is speaking.
Entonces, señora, los puntos en los que usted quiere hablar no están abiertos para el comentario público. Entonces, usted va a tener 1 minuto para comentario público y cuando yo esté interpretando, usted se le va a parar el tiempo para que tenga su minuto completo.
Está bien.
Ok, empiece.
Apoyo a las enmiendas del sur LA CPO.
I support the item South LA CPO.
Es necesario para prevenir el desplazamiento, proteger los inquilinos contra el acoso.
This is very needed so we can protect the harassment against the renters.
A proteger las características de nuestros barrios, agregar viviendas asequibles necesarias en nuestro vecindario.
And this is going to help us to protect our housing and to make it accessible and the housing that is necessary in our neighborhood.
Queremos agradecer por escuchar las necesidades de la comunidad y aprobar las ordenanzas.
We want to thank you to take a moment to listen to our necessities and to the community and to make sure that you take the right ordinances to protect us.
Con todas las enmiendas incluidas de los que se agregaron.
With all the modifications that were added.
lo que agrega protecciones adicionales para inquilinos.
to make sure that there are extra added protections to protect the renters.
Ya que en el distrito 9 donde yo vivo por 30 años, sí se ha estado desplazando y se han estado haciendo edificios de cajitas de zapatos nomás.
Where I lived in District 9, I've lived there for 30 years. There have been a lot of evacuations and there are buildings that they're being made of shoe boxes.
Y también quiero agradecerles que pasen la ordenanza, sí, de los trabajadores de comida rápida. Gracias.
And I also want to ask you to please approve the ordinance for the fast food employers. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning.
Buenos días. Necesito traducción, por favor.
Good morning, I need interpretation.
Mi nombre es Belén García y me gustaría hablar sobre el punto LACPIO y en el comentario público soy miembro de ACE. He vivido aquí por 25 años en esta ciudad y apoyo a las enmiendas de solo ACPO.
My name is Belen Garcia. I am an ASE member. I'm here to support South LA CPIO, and I've been living in this city for the last 25 years.
Esta es necesaria para prevenir el desplazamiento, proteger los inquilinos contra el acoso, proteger las características de nuestros barrios, agregar viviendas accesibles necesarias en nuestro vecindario.
Bet you has his
This
dress
is
in
very
the
much
bag.
needed to protect the renters, to make sure that they are housing accessible and that we have all the necessities that we need in our communities.
Queremos agradecerle por escuchar las necesidades de la comunidad y aprobar la ordenanza con todas las enmiendas incluidas que se le agregaron, lo que agregará protecciones adicionales para inquilinos.
We want to thank you for taking the time to listen to us, and we want to ask you to please approve this ordinance and to make, with all the modifications and amendments, to make sure that we have the added protection that the renters need.
Yo quiero contarle un poco de mi historia. He sido desplazada de Los Ángeles. Tengo un mes viviendo en la ciudad de Campton y esto es a consecuencia por no encontrar vivienda accesible para mis ingresos.
I wanted to share a little bit about my story with you guys. I was evicted from LA. I had to move to the city of Compton because that was the only place where I was able to find accessible housing that I could pay with the money I make.
Tuve que estar viviendo un mes con mis hijos en la calle, a veces
Señora,
en el...
se le acabó su tiempo, lo siento.
Oh, ok,
Yes, sir.
gracias.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker, please. Good morning.
Good morning.
I see the little one. It's down here.
Hola, mi nombre es Ana Chan y me gustaría hablar sobre el punto de South LA CPIO y el comentario público.
Hi, my name is Anna Chan, and I would like to talk about the item CPIO and the public comment.
Soy miembro de ACE y he estado viviendo por 41 años en esta ciudad y apoyo las enmiendas del Sur Los Ángeles CPIO.
I am a member of ACE, and I've been living here in this city for the last 41 years, and I support the South LA CPIO.
Esta es necesaria para prevenir el desplazamiento y proteger los inquilinos contra el acoso.
This is very much needed to prevent the displacement and protect residents from harassment.
Proteger las características de nuestros barrios y agregar viviendas accesibles necesarias en nuestros vecindarios.
And maintain the character of our neighborhoods and add affordable housing needed in our neighborhood while preventing displacement.
Queremos agradecerles por escuchar las necesidades de la comunidad y aprobar la ordenanza con todas las enmiendas incluidas que se le agregaron.
We want to thank you for listening to our community needs and to pass the ordinance with all the included amendments that were added to it.
Lo que agrega protecciones adicionales para los inquilinos.
This will add additional protections for tenants.
Yo quiero mencionar que durante esta semana, por 3 días seguidos, fui acosada por los dueños de la casa donde yo vivo.
I would like to add that also for 3 days I was being harassed by the owners of the place where I live.
Que fue jueves, viernes y sábados por la tarde.
Lo siento, señora, se le acabó su tiempo.
Que fueron
Señora,
jueves,
se le
viernes.
acabó su tiempo, lo siento.
Oh, perdón.
Lo siento.
Gracias. Okay, next speaker, please. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, board members, council members, I'm sorry. My name is Ricardo Garcia. I was born and raised in East Los Angeles. I'm a union organizer with Local 105, representing hardworking sheet metal workers. I'm here to express my union support for the Convention Center project. Our union represents over 7,000 members in this area, many of which live in the city. I ask that you think about the amount of jobs that will be created for LA residents that pay a family-sustaining wage as you make your vote. And I ask that you approve the Convention Center project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
I mean, I get it. They want to draw more people, but like someone else said, I mean, why would you? Texas said it. Why would you want to go there?
Good afternoon.
Vegas has so much
my
more
name
to
is Fernando
offer.
Ochoa. I serve as political director of Sheet Metal, Air, Rail, and Transportation Workers Local 105, and I come here to ask you to direct staff to begin negotiations on the Convention Center project. We've got 7,000 members here in the LA area, hundreds of which are on the out of work list. A project like this would create countless jobs for Angelenos for years to come. So I appreciate it and will go a long way for the Olympics in 2028. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
We'll be here soon enough, huh? 2028, the Olympics.
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Cristina Campos. Me gustaría hablar sobre el punto SAO LA CPIO.
Hi,
Un
how are you?
comentario
My
público.
name is Cristina Campos, and I would like to talk about South LA CPIO and public comment.
Soy miembro de ACE. He estado viviendo en la ciudad de Los Ángeles por 22 años y pertenezco al Distrito 9 y apoyo las enmiendas de SAO LA CPIO.
I am a member of ACE, and I've been living in District 9 for the last 22 years, and I would want to support the South LA CPIO.
Esta es necesaria para prevenir el desplazamiento, proteger a los inquilinos contra el acoso, proteger las características de nuestro barrio, agregar viviendas accesibles necesarias en nuestro vecindario.
This South LA CPIO is needed to prevent displacement, protect residents from harassment, and maintain the character of our neighborhoods, and add affordable housing needed in our neighborhood while preventing displacement.
Queremos agradecerle por escuchar las necesidades de la comunidad y aprobar la ordenanza con todas las enmiendas incluidas que se le agregaron, lo que agrega protecciones adicionales para los inquilinos.
We would like to thank you for listening to our community needs and to pass the ordinance
Yes,
with all
Tam Tam. I
included
mean, look at
amendments
me
that were
over
added
here,
to it,
how clear
which
it is.
will add
It's
additional
because I'm zoomed
protections
in.
to
I
the
can
for
unzoom.
tenants.
I just figured you'd rather
Y
see
estoy
them because
aquí
it didn't really
también
matter.
porque he sufrido mucho acoso por el nuevo
See,
dueño
and then
de
you
la
don't really
propiedad
get to
donde
see them,
vivo.
and now it's back to
And I'm
clear.
here also because I have been going
Pixelation.
through a lot of harassment from the new owner where I've
You know
been
what I mean?
living.
En el año nos pone hasta 4 o 5 órdenes de desalojo.
Sometimes he even sends us 4 or 5
We can do
notices
that.
For eviction.
But sometimes there's
Muchas
crazy things
gracias por
happening in the
apoyar
crowd,
todos
and that's
los
why I do
recursos
that.
para los
So you can
inquilinos.
see what's
Thank you
going
very
on
much for all your
behind
support
them.
for the tenants.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
La siguiente persona.
Buenos días.
Good afternoon.
Buenas
Mi, nom-
tardes.
mi nombre es Lucina Bad. Soy miembro de ICE.
My name is Lucina Batts, and I am a member of ACE.
Soy del Distrito 9 y yo apoyo la ordenanza para las enmiendas del sur de CPOs porque es necesario, como en la comunidad, para que los inquilinos no sufran acoso, estén protegidos, no sean desalojados. Yo tengo 24 años de vivir aquí en la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
Un segundo,
y
señora. Un segundo. I live in District Number 9, and I've been there for the last 24 years, and I'm here to support South LA CPIO, and I think this is very much needed to prevent displacement, to protect residents from harassment. Siga, señora.
Yo he sido demandada por desalojo por el dueño. Soy madre soltera y me gustaría exponer de que necesitamos el apoyo de ustedes. Gracias por habernos apoyado en esta ordenanza que es necesaria para reforzar todas las enmiendas para que nos apoyen, para no tener mucha gente en la ciudad viviendo fuera. Les agradezco a todos y espero su apoyo más para el Distrito 9. Necesitamos su apoyo. Muchas gracias y apoyo a CPS.
Through the years I have been sued. I'm a single mother. I'm asking you here to please support this ordinance so we can make sure that we will prevent displacement, we will protect residents from harassment. I want to thank you for listening to the community needs, and I want to make sure that you guys pass the ordinance so with all the included
I had to
amendments.
throw that
Thank you.
single mother card in there for you real quick.
All right. Thank you. Before our next speaker begins, I'm going to call some more names. If you could just give me one minute to call some more names, please. Maria Coronado, Pam Fair, Matt Cornell. Sorry. Jasmine Awad, Melina Abdullah, Renata, Rob Kwan.
Oh, Rob Kwan's there. Shout out to Rob Kwan.
Pastor Q.
Donald Harlan.
All right, go right ahead.
Good afternoon. Hi, good morning. Public comment on items 50, 51, and 52.
So
My name is Elba Cuevas Varelas, and I am an ACE member. I've been living in District 1 for the past 24 years. I support the LACPIO. I would like to speak on that item. This South LA CPIO is needed to prevent displacement, protect residents from harassment, and maintain the character of our neighborhoods and add affordable housing needed in our neighborhood while preventing displacement. We want to thank you for listening to the community needs and to pass the ordinance with all the included amendments that that were added to it, which will add additional protections for tenants. These amendments are needed to prevent displacement not only but across all LA and should be added to the Residents Protections Ordinance. I'm here to also support Fast Food Justice Ordinance. Thank you.
Hold on, Fast Food Justice Ordinance. Didn't we just do that? Give them $20 an hour and they still can't figure out how to put fucking 4 items in a bag without missing one of them?
I'm speaking on the items 50, 51, and 52 in a public comment. Hi, my name is
So you have 1 minute for general public comment because those items are not currently open. Go ahead.
Sure. My name is Success Money. I am a member of ACE. I live in the District 8 for 6 years. I support the LA CPIO. I would like to speak on the items, and I would also like to speak to a staff member of District 8 regarding my own personal harassment and illegal eviction. The South LA CPIO is needed to prevent displacement, protect residents from harassment, and maintain the character of our neighborhoods and affordable housing needed in our neighborhoods to prevent further displacement. We want to thank you for listening to the community needs and to pass the ordinance with all of the included amendments that were added to it, which will all add additional protections for the tenants. These amendments are needed to prevent displacement not only here but all across Los Angeles and should be added to the Resident Protection Ordinance. Additionally, we are here to support the Fast Food Justice Ordinance because all workers deserve the right to know.
Eddie Murphy laugh.
Thank you very much. And if you'll step over to the side here, we're going to see if we can
That
get
was
somebody
when
from
he was
Council
in
District
Trading
8 staff
Places.
to talk to you as
and
well.
he was
If you
the
could just step
African
over to
student.
the-
I
to
can't
this
remember
side.
his name.
Thank you very much. All right, next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Renata Buscaria, and I'm here to speak on item 47.
Wait, where
I
is she?
categorically oppose.
Oh, now I see her.
to item
wheelchair.
47 presented by
Wait a minute.
Councilman Ulises Hernandez. My community and I worked on a proposal to create a Guatemalan square in the city of
Trading
Los
Places
Angeles.
is fucking
Ms.
great.
Hernandez denied it and then presented her own version, which is a smaller project in a different area. By doing this, she totally disrespected, ignored the will of the Guatemalan community. Furthermore, she enlisted for her project event planners, not activists from the West Side, and former politicians also from out of town. Ms. Hernandez went as far as to get a letter of support from the Consulate Office of Guatemala. Her supporters are a very selective group which do not represent the average local small businesses, vendors, or residents in the area. Why is she trying to micromanage this community project? Thank you.
I'm glad you like it, Taiji. Yeah, I mean, I got to find
Thank
different
you.
ones. I can't keep using the
Next
same
speaker,
ones,
please.
you know, so you got to mix them up, keep
Good
them
afternoon.
good.
Good afternoon.
Sometimes
Nala
I
McCosker with
put 'em in
Central
the
City
machine and
Association.
just forget about 'em
Many
for a few
members
months
have
and then
heard
put 'em
me
in.
comment before at prior committees. This is a difficult day of a lot of decisions. There's one item before you that stands to build thousands of jobs, help sustain businesses, for which labor, business, and civic communities stand together today in support. It is a critically important project, and I really want to thank you for choosing to have this important discussion and decision today. So thank you to the leadership of this council and to everyone here for the dialogue that I know is to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Get out of here.
Morning, council members. My name is Raul Claros. I'm here to oppose item 47. As I've come up here for a couple of weeks, I've asked you all to understand the dynamics on item 47, which is a project that originally was started by a group with the Guatemalan Square, as you heard the previous speaker talk about. It was a process that lasted 20 months. Then it was blocked. There was a neighborhood council president that was instructed by the city council member not to submit a community impact statement. There is proof and evidence of that. This is why this motion is now a cover-up. It's in bad faith, and this is why we're asking you all to either vote no or abstain from voting until you're able yourself as a voting council member to speak to these groups. You're going to hear from two different groups once again, but we cannot have anyone divide community, especially culture groups in their district, even if they are a sitting council member. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Buenas tardes.
Good
No
afternoon.
hablo inglés, hablo español.
Good afternoon. I don't speak English. I speak Spanish.
Mi nombre es Mario Ávila.
My name is Mario Avila.
Soy un artista,
And I am an
pintor y
artist.
escultor.
I'm an artist and sculptor, painter.
Tengo más de 30 años de vivir acá en los Estados Unidos
I've been living in United States for more than 30 years.
y soy una parte de este pueblo maya que salió por el genocidio en mi país.
And I'm part of the Mayan people that had to escape due to the genocide in my country.
Esta moción 47
This motion number 47,
me molesta que no seamos tomados en cuenta los pueblos mayas ni los pueblos mestizos.
it is irritating that we are not taking into account the Mayan people and the mixed
Así que lo
people.
repudio profundamente y
So-
pido que se pare.
So I repudiate this deeply, and I'm asking to stop this.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Wait, so what does this have to do with us? And what's going on there? I don't quite get it. What do these people think that
Good
these
afternoon.
people are?
Good afternoon.
Like
my
the
name
president's
is
gonna
Yesenia
listen to these
Conde.
people and
I
cease
am
fire?
the attorney that was supervising the original Guatemalan Square project, and I have firsthand knowledge of how Councilwoman Eunices Hernandez sabotaged this project. Ms. Hernandez, you need to stop lying to the media and telling the media only the partial truth. You know what you did. You know you sabotaged this project. You know that you instructed Alexandra Robinson not to submit the community impact report in an effort to sabotage this project. And now you want to sit there and you want to lie to the community and you want to make all these promises, and so far you haven't delivered anything. Look at how Council District 1 is right now. You haven't done anything. So I urge this council to be fully informed of any motions that are presented by Councilwoman Eunices Hernandez. I urge this council to vote no or to abstain from voting until they hear the full truth, because nobody in this council chamber could tell me what happened, because I was there and
Thank
I
you.
do have
Thank you
firsthand
very
knowledge
much.
of
Next
what
speaker,
happened.
Please. Next speaker, please.
That's right. Tell you, Nissus.
You son of a bitch.
Good morning, council people. My name is Alex Alvarado. I'll be speaking on item 47. Just like the Palestine people are fighting and the Palestine people are here, they also need to know that Eunices Hernandez, you're corrupt. You know what you did, and it's not over. You're grinning right now. But I ask all council members to investigate. I was here last time. You sabotaged the project by directing Alexander Robinson not to submit that community impact report. You divided our community, and some of those people back there that are gonna speak, you have bottom off by offering them little $5,000, $20,000 to help them on their business. Why now? You had 18 months to do that. You should be ashamed of yourself. And you talk about Kevin De Leon, and you talk about other council person, you doing the same thing, but the only reason is that you got caught. It's not over yet. Vote no or sustain from your vote the day to day, because you know what you've done. And Heather Hudd, you have the right to vote a no on this motion and do the right thing, because you got swindled into vote into signing something you have no clue, and you have a lot of Guatemalans in the 10th district pissed off at you. Today you have the right
Thank
to
you.
do the right.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Your time's expired. Next speaker.
Guatemalans be hating her. Oh.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good afternoon. Nolan Marshall, the Executive Director of the South Park Business Improvement District, here to speak to you in support of the convention
South Park?
center.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Yep. Downtown Los Angeles is the 4th business improvement district area that I've been able to do this work in. Previously in New Orleans, Vancouver, Dallas. My toolkit as someone who leads a business improvement district is somewhat dynamic. I get to focus on public safety, pressure washing, keeping the streets clean. We plant flowers. We do public art projects. We hold special events. None of those things create people in my community. You all have the opportunity through expanding the convention center to create people in my community, and people are the energy of all of the small businesses in my district. When I walk around my neighborhood, I see far too many ground floor empty retail bays in South Park. I see a giant empty tower in my district. Across downtown, we have many buildings that could use the investment of a hotel, could use the investment of anything that will be generated by expanding this convention center. So I appreciate your time today and hope you vote yes.
Thank you very much. Next
Thank
speaker,
you.
please.
We don't give a fuck.
Hi, Rich Sarian for general public comment on the convention center. Greetings, esteemed council members. I'm Rich Sarian, lifelong third generation Angelino. I work with the South Park BID, and that includes the convention center. We have to expand and modernize our convention center, and now. This project is a generational investment and will generate billions in new revenue for the next few decades. The naysayers of this project are exactly why it has been delayed for a decade. Much like having your first child, it's never a good time to do a project like this, but as soon as you do, you can't imagine what life was like before it. Once completed, before the Olympics, we will all wonder why we didn't just do this in 2015. Construction can be done. We rebuilt the 10 freeway overnight just last year. Please, with this convention center, we have to do it. Make the critical investment, please. It's generational. Expand and modernize our convention center. Thank you.
Shout out to South Park.
Next speaker,
One day
please.
everything was fine, and the next day were these fucking
Good afternoon.
scooters everywhere.
Speaker, if you'd remind us of the name you signed up under and which items you want to speak on.
Yes, Jenny Chavez with Los Angeles Tourism here for item 54.
Okay, please go ahead. You have a minute.
So I'm here representing your official marketing organization for the city. We're also the ones who sell the convention center for citywide conventions. And this is one of those rare projects that is supported by both labor and business and will bring economic prosperity to the city. I also wanted to speak in support of this project because it's going to be a successful project. Not only because of the commitment on the side of the city, but because you have a private sector partner that's willing to invest $1 billion in AEG. And this is also a partner that has a proven track record in the past of revitalizing downtown
She's
as
a corporate
well as the
shill.
city. Thank you.
I want
Thank
South
you.
Park
Next
back.
speaker, next speaker, please.
I just hope the future
Hi,
is.
Speaker. If you could remind us of the name you signed up under and what you signed up to speak on.
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Tony DeTrinidad with the Painters and Allied Trades, District Council 36. We represent painters, drywall finishers, floor layers, and glazers in the finishing construction industry. We also represent trade show workers at the LA Convention Center. We're also here in support of item 54.
Okay.
We feel projects like these are special to us because a PLA will create opportunities for many local residents and community members interested in apprenticeship programs and careers in the building trades. And that is what we expect when we build the expansion and modernization of the convention center, is to put many of our members who live nearby back to work instead of having them drive 30 to 40 miles away to find work. This project is also very special to us because we have an opportunity to attract much larger events and shows to the Los Angeles area, which will essentially boost the local economy. Not to mention, our trade show exhibit builders will have the opportunity to accumulate more working hours with the larger meeting space. Furthermore, the surrounding areas will be able to recruit more residents from the community to work on the expansion during the construction phase and recruit additional residents with larger convention shows coming into the city more often. So in closing, we humbly ask you to support this project and support working people and vote to approve it. Thank you.
I want to find out what the definition of trillium
Thank you.
is.
Next
What the
speaker,
fuck
please.
is trillium?
Good morning, Mr. President. Thank you, sir. I
Great
appreciate
pander.
your time. First, I'd like to submit paperwork in regards to an incident that took place last year on the 12th of May.
Sure.
An assault on some seniors.
Which items or general public comment did you?
Sir, all items, including 47 and 54 of the convention.
I'm assaulted.
And public comment.
Okay, so 47 and I believe 54 aren't open. But anyway, go ahead with general public comment. And if you want some items.
Wait. Do I get a minute for the other two?
I believe.
I thought they were open.
What's his name go? E Honda.
Actually, we held the public hearing on 47 and 54.
Oh, the mole's back.
So, but you can talk about them in general public comment. So,
All right,
thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. I've been here 35 years, and I love these individuals who come on the one item issue that they're bothered by. The rest of the time, they don't give a damn about this city. They come here and they disrespect this country. They come here and they don't stand up when. Yeah, right here. Look at all these family members who have died and served you. But what do you do?
Candido, please
You
speak
come
to the
here, you can't
council.
even
Speak to the council, Candido, or your time.
I understand that, sir, but you know it sickens me when you see that kind. They're here, they're bitching, yet they do nothing, because when they're all done here, they go back into their communities and do nothing.
It's true.
The Guatemalan community here is trying. I want to thank you folks for being here, because you want the American dream. You want to be part of it, and you deserve a part of it. So keep fighting, and you will get what you deserve. But these people who have been here and who disgrace this country because they can't even appreciate what people have died, that as a Native American, okay, we know what genocide is. We know the war has to stop. But by these individuals, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Morris.
very much. Your time has expired. Thank you.
These individuals.
Thank you. Candido, you'll need to sit down and be silent, please, or you'll have to be removed.
Candido.
All right.
It's good and spicy.
That was
Next speaker, please.
Hi, Speaker. If you'd remind us of the name you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
Matt Cornell, general comment.
It's a little hard to hear you. Can you pull the mic up? Thank you.
Matt Cornell, general comment.
Please go ahead.
My name is Matt Cornell. I'm a business representative for International Painters and Allied Trades, local 831 trade show installers.
See how many divests we get, ladies and gentlemen.
We started with local 831 in the late 90s. The good portion of the work at that time was at the LA Convention Center. San Diego Convention Center expanded in the early 2000s. The latest expansion of Anaheim Convention Center was 2017. Since mid-2000, a large portion of local 831 has shifted to Anaheim and San Diego. There's no reason a world-class city like Los Angeles should not be on a top destination for trade shows on the West Coast. With this expansion, a new generation of local 831 trade show installers living in the LA area will have the opportunity to not only live and work in LA, but raise a family and help contribute to the local economy. I urge you to vote yes on the expansion of the LA Convention Center. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before our next speaker begins, I'm going to call a few more names.
Donald Harlan.
Rabbi Yossi Eilfort, Shannon Paskey, Clemen A., Mina Sultana, Rolana Jaradat,
Yeah, Bird.
and Justice Crudup.
We're not going to do anything on Friday, so our Friday show will
Good
be
afternoon. If you
Thursday.
could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Hello, sir. Yes, Maria Coronado, item 54.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
They're not ballistic vests.
Good morning,
They're just
council
work
members.
vests.
My name is Maria Coronado, 34-year member of Western States Carpenters. We provide opportunities for women to join the trades and hire a diverse workforce. Item 54.
DEI hires, huh?
Time is of the essence. I've heard skepticism about whether this project can be accomplished. I can assure you that the same workforce that brought the 10 freeway back online weeks ahead of the original projection is up to the task. We live for this. The LA Convention Center expansion, when built with appropriate labor standards, create career opportunities that help women and men join the middle class. As we all know, this project is also essential to preparations for the Olympic Games. We urge your expeditious approval of the Convention Center expansion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
No clapping.
Good afternoon. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Oh, we're getting a divest.
My name is Rolana Jarda, and I'm a 17-year-old Palestinian. I'm addressing item 104 today. I'm here to demand that LA City Council doesn't reward the Zionist violence from last weekend with $1 million of our hard-earned tax dollars for increased security services and training.
I love it.
And not only that, an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza. The people of Gaza have been attacked by the most powerful nations in the world. They have been slaughtered by the thousands on a daily basis, displaced, starved, denied medical care. They have no access to clean water, electricity, or shelter. Every part of Gaza is being targeted by the IOF. Not only that, our brothers and sisters here in LA have been attacked by Zionists and cops. Last weekend when I was in Pico Robertson, an action took place to protest the real estate action selling illegally stolen Palestinian land. The action was peaceful until aggressive Zionists came to instigate and cause violence, knowing no consequences would be made. They had private security from the IOF protecting them. They do not need more money to incite more violence against pro-Palestinian protesters. The violence we experienced last weekend was unlike any other. I was verbally harassed, almost ran over, and followed to the car. They came to our car and knocked on our windows and blocked off our car from leaving. And increased security will
like
allow
your
them to
people
think
do.
they have the ability to continue inciting this violence with no consequences. This money should be going to unhoused school children. We urge you to support the kids in our community instead. Money for schools and education, not for wars and occupation. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to see your tax return and see how much exactly you paid in. I'd love to see it. I'd be willing to bet, says you're pretty damn close to not paying any taxes because you don't earn enough to even to pay taxes.
And
I'd love to see
Sorry,
it.
just wanted to clarify. We are taking general public comment now rather than holding it to the end of the meeting. But since item 104 is not before us, please limit your comments to the 1 minute.
So
of
you're
general
mad at
public
what they were
comment,
doing to you in your
time
car.
for-
Your
if you
your
wish to
buddies
speak
do
to
the
item
same
104,
thing.
You may,
So
but just it'll be limited
And
to
what?
1 minute for general public comment.
So your buddy's not to
Before
do
our
it
next
then.
speaker begins, I'd like to call just a few more names. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I already called the names. Go right ahead.
We could do it. You
While speaking on item 104, I felt fear and extreme anxiety at the protest in Pico Robinson. I was there to protest the sale of real estate property in the West Bank.
So go
The
home.
synagogue hosted the event and selling illegally stolen land from the indigenous people of Palestine. The Zionists like to claim that it's anti-Semitic that we chose to protest at a synagogue, but they are forgetting to add why we were there. Stolen Palestine land being sold here in LA. I couldn't walk to my car without being harassed, being called Hamas or terrorist, or being cursed at using harsh language. They blocked off my car and would not allow me to leave. I saw people getting beat up by Zionists, police doing absolutely nothing, watching the Palestinian protesters getting beat up and harassed and arrested, but yeah, they are still pushing the peaceful protesters with their batons. The $1 million you're proposing to use for Zionist security should be going to the unhoused children of LA. This is our tax dollars, and our children in LA deserve our tax dollars. My question is why don't you fund the children of LA? Mayor Bass, you were quick to claim the event on Sunday was anti-Semitic without investigation. I was there, and videos are clear. They are clear. We were attacked. Pay attention to your city and stop dividing your city.
Thank you. Next
Again, show
speaker,
me how
please.
much money you put in as a barista at Starbucks. I want to see how much you paid in
Good
taxes.
afternoon. Which items would
Since
you
you're
like to
so
speak to?
concerned about the tax dollars being spent.
Hello.
Hold on, sorry. I
Sorry,
don't want
one
to take away
moment,
your
please.
time.
Whoever is shouting in
Candido's
the back,
back there.
I'm sorry, sergeants, please remove whoever is shouting in the back immediately. I think it's Candido. Candido, I'm sorry, you're ordered removed from the council chambers pursuant to Rule 12.
And Mr. Candido, you were warned previously at the beginning of the meeting.
They dunk Candido. It's getting
Sergeants,
spicy.
whoever else is continuing to shout is ordered removed. All right, look, folks, I'm going to say this again. There's room for disagreement, there's room for passion, there's room for saying what you want to say to this council chambers, but I will not have a situation where people are not letting other people speak. That is not going to happen in this council chambers. So with that, go right ahead.
Hello, I'm Christina. I'm an anti-Zionist Jew here with IATSE Members for Palestine and Jewish Voices for Peace. I oppose the $2 million of public funding going to this security, and I reject the narrative that people don't feel safe with mass protesters. We wear masks because we're in a pandemic, and being healthy sustains our movement. We also
You're
mask
frightened.
to protect our community from violent counter-protesters. Exhibit A, including literal Nazis standing behind Israeli flags, standing behind an army of LAPD officers as they hit us, spray us with bear mace, and attack our elders, your elders.
Wah,
And they face no consequences.
wah.
Let's reflect on times in American history when racist violence was justified with false claims of victimhood while being shielded from consequences.
It's happening right
Let's
now.
connect the dots on how little has changed and how much farther we have to go together.
You know
The city
victimhood
wants to
well.
waste public funding to continue the harmful narrative
your
that
time
Jews
has
aren't
expired.
safe.
Thank you.
But-
Thank you very much. Next speaker,
You're,
please.
you're nothing but a victim every day with their Palestinian starter kit.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
No,
104,
poor little
general.
So you
liberal.
have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
I'm here today with IATSE Members for Palestine and Jewish Voices for Peace. I'm an anti-Zionist Jewish American born and raised in Los Angeles. I reject any amount of the budget. Adding any amount of money to the budget deficit by awarding security services and training based on a flawed logic that it makes our community safer when it will actually finance a future towards fascism and result in more violence across the city. How would any amount of money provide safety if LAPD's astronomical budget increases can't? Or giving contracts to organizations like MAG and AM, which the councilwoman wants to, while knowing the lack of oversight in the city's hiring processes that have already caused harm to our community. Just last month, an Urban Alchemy employee working for the city was attacked an unhoused person. How you spend your money shows what you value. If you care about human security, uplift our communities most in need, provide summer lunches for low-income LAUSD students, address the 19% increase in unhoused kids, improve public services like housing and healthcare, but don't weaponize my Jewish heritage to
Thank you.
threaten
Your time
community
has expired.
safety
Next
and
speaker, please. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Yeah, it's getting warm. It's getting spicy in here.
Good afternoon. Public comment on item 104.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
We try to open every day with gratitude, so I want to start with showing gratitude to the original motion that was brought up. I appreciate the city recognizing the good work that we do. I appreciate the opportunity to speak the truth. Although there are many people that have approached me admitting that they want to get me to say something that would be untrue, I'm waiting to learn the lessons of any times I open my mouth, as we have wins and we have lessons. Jewish communities in the streets of Los Angeles, just like every other community, deserve to feel secure, and that is what we stand for. In Hebrew, there is a word bitachon, which a rabbi would tell you means trust or faith in God. In Ivrit, the modern spoken Hebrew, that word bitachon means security. I'm a firm believer that it is our duty to have faith, as security, secure, the adjective, is a lack of fear. Is that time?
Thank you.
Thank you
very
for your time.
much. Next speaker, please. All right.
Feel
Okay,
better,
hold
Heather.
on 1 second
Speedy
before the speaker
recovery to you.
before the next speaker begins. Ma'am, please don't shout out, but I'm going to instruct Herman and Spindler to sit silently. The next time your voice is heard, you'll be removed from this meeting. We've already had multiple complaints about you, Spindler, disturbing people's ability to listen to other people's public comment. So you have two choices. Sit there and be silent, or leave this council chamber.
Bro, it's like Beavis and Butthead, right, sitting next to each other.
I'm telling you, the next time I hear a sound from you, you're gone. All right, next speaker.
I am here because I am outraged that the city of LA is
Here they
looking
are
to
right
spend
here.
$2 million
They're
to send military-style security forces into Los Angeles neighborhoods. I am also
got a
outraged by
Batman
the
mask on,
ongoing
look.
misrepresentation of the violence that has happened at recent protests against the genocide in Gaza. To be clear, those who perpetrate this violence have been aided and abetted by LAPD and MAGAN-M. These are the same groups who would receive funds from Proposition 104. My sister and I are Jews who stand for equal rights for everyone, and many of these counter-protesters reserve their most hateful rhetoric and violence against people like us. Recently, my sister came to the UCLA campus in solidarity with the peaceful protesters there. As they linked arms with other protesters, they were spat upon, threatened, and assaulted by Zionist Jews. We who put our necks out to speak out against war and violence will surely be further endangered by this dangerous proposition, as those who are already entitled to perpetrate violence will be even more emboldened to do so.
Thank you. Your time has
Please
expired.
vote no on that.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'm speaking to item 104. My name is
So you have
Dr.
1 minute.
Mina Sultana. I'm a Muslim American physician who lives in LA. Firstly, Katie Yaroslavsky, your Islamophobic bias is clear. My friend Jay was fired because he spoke about your bigotry. So we know where your bias is. It is clear to me that amendment item 104 was intentionally diluted because we are outraged about the original item. I am outraged that the city of LA proposed to spend millions of dollars to fund military-style security forces in Los Angeles neighborhoods. I am also outraged about the ongoing misrepresentation of violence that has happened at recent protests. The violence was initiated and continued by violent Zionist individuals. As a Muslim American who stands for equal rights for everyone, including Palestinians who are being subjected to genocide with our tax dollars, I am concerned that there has not been a single independent investigation into
Umi, you don't
violent,
have to spam it.
often Arabophobic and Islamophobic attacks by Zionist individuals against peaceful activists in Los Angeles. Vote no on any future money for militias in Los Angeles.
Thank you. I'm going to call a few more names. Eloy Riaga, Rayson JD, Giovanna Bonfil, Duarte Hernandez.
Come on, Mr. Spindler and Herman. Come on, where's he at?
Wait, I'm not. I haven't called you yet.
Mr. Herman.
Yes, you did.
I haven't called you. Be quiet.
You just called me.
I have not called on you to speak. Be quiet while I call more names.
That's the hoodie guy. The hoodie guy's already getting in trouble, bro. Look at him. Look at his face.
Carolina Goodman, Sean McMorris.
I mean, how hard is it to read a list unless you're skipping names?
If I didn't already say it, Duarte Hernandez.
He's picking and choosing who he sees on that list. He's not. You can tell he's not just reading a stack of names. How hard would it be? One.
Brenda Vine.
That one doesn't look familiar. That one doesn't look familiar. So we'll.
All right, go ahead, sir.
All the ones that are familiar, he doesn't want talking.
Eloy Riaga. I would like to speak on all items and the general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and
They
1 minute
sign
for
up
general
as different
public
names.
comment.
That
Please
way they
begin
can
to the
get in.
items.
Eloy Riaga.
Item 82, we are talking about a homeless emergency, local housing in the city of LA. That is my concern because as a homeless person who sometimes live in Figueroa, I reach out numerous times. I also always heard Council President Krikorian talking about we're going to offer housing, we're going to offer shelter, we're going to also offering food. However, when I reach out, when I call them, everybody push me away. I really do not understand. where, when can I get some homeless services? Because, you know, last week we were talking about water, clean water. You know, if I cannot even access clean water, I mean, I don't know what do I do. So if you are talking about providing homeless services, I wish that you guys can put the action, put the money in your mouth, and then get to work. Next, let's talking
Fucking
about
love him.
85. Mr. City Attorney, I know you're gonna get upset on 85 because I am the one who talking about the same agenda item every single month. This is talking about a reward leading to the murder. Like again, doesn't matter how many times I talk about this agenda, when you are having so little cops on the street, you're never gonna find those murder. Did you read the news last week? Yesterday, City Attorney, they just find another dead body, and then right now you have one unidentified murder, and then every month you guys are taking a body from the Westlake or like unnamed body or whatever, and then unsolved murder. And every month you're gonna put that unsolved murder on the agenda. You're gonna asking the public to help you to solve the murder. And then I wonder, why do we have a police department if you are asking the citizen to help you to fight the
You've
crime?
exhausted your 1 minute on this item. Please move on to another item.
And then the next item, let's talking about the community beautification, which is 86, Council President 86. I have a concern about the Skid Row beautification. I also have a concern about the Figueroa beautification. And then I have a concern about the all citywide beautification, because we need to provide a safe environment for those Figueroa girls to work. Those Figueroa girls, they deserve to go to work with beauty, with safety, with dignity. And then I also advocate for equal work, for equal pay. You know, we need more Figueroa boys, Figueroa girls, and Figueroa
That
all
has
gender
nothing to do with
talking
our
about
agenda.
beautification services. Now, let's talking about the general
public
comment. I'm here to offer my gratitude to Officer Duarte, Sergeant Duarte. I talked about how Officer Ilariaga stopped me from being a rapist, and then right now I'm talking about how Sergeant Duarte prevent me from being a sex offender. I was about to enter the residence of my Figueroa girl. I was seeing my homie girl right there, but Officer Sergeant Duarte immediately showed up with public safety services. He immediately showed up with his 24 inches, and then he pulled me out of the Figueroa street. And then he pulled me out and telling me that with my 24 inches right here, I will not allow you to commit a crime in the city of LA. Therefore, I decided to go back to school. I'm becoming a law-abiding citizen.
This dude right here is laughing.
I want to thank the 24 inches of our Sergeant Duarte. I want to thank Sergeant Duarte for the public safety services on Figueroa Street.
Your time has expired.
Located where? On Figueroa.
See, everybody
Next
loves
speaker.
Fig. Don't play. Don't
Good
play.
afternoon. Which items would you like to
24
speak
inches,
to?
dog.
Good afternoon, council
He's
members.
a straight up
Carolina
fucking horse.
Goodman, League of Women Voters of Greater Los Angeles, and I'm going to be speaking on item 124 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general
Cock
public comment.
fucker
Please
slaps
begin
his
with the item.
knees.
The League of Women Voters of Greater Los Angeles appreciates the appointment of Bob Stern to fill the vacancy on the Ethics Commission. After all, he was a principal drafter of LA City's ethics and public campaign financing law, passed by voters in 1990. With Mr. Stern's vast experience as past president of the Center for Government Studies, the first general counsel for the California Fair Political Practices Commission, and the past president of California Common Cause, he is most qualified. In addition, Mr. Stern
This
has been an
dude
active and
put his
long-standing
hand
member
over
of
his
the
face
League of
because he
Women
couldn't stop
Voters.
laughing over the
LA
24
City's
inches and all
ethics
that.
code became a model for national standards, establishing much-needed direction for the conflict of interest and financial disclosures, providing ethics training, holding city officials accountable, and implementing a
dressed as
campaign matching
Batman.
funds program, just to name a few.
General public comment?
He has a
The
Batman
league
shirt and a
continues
Batman
to
mask on.
advocate for a
He's got a cape on,
strong,
too.
independent ethics commission. Other than the 2019 reform of campaign finance policies and procedures for LA City, there have been no significant updates regarding the Ethics Commission. The proposed November 2024 ballot measure is meant to enhance the valuable work of LA City's Ethics Commission, and the commission, as well as the city, will benefit greatly from the appointment of Bob Stern. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good job,
Next
man.
speaker, please.
Batman coming
Let me
up
call
soon.
a few more names. Drew Gutierrez, Johnny Pineda,
Johnny
Renee
G.
Amiel, Alejandro A., Casey Madrin, and Maria Briojes, please. Also, Lucia Abad,
Notice how he's making them
Christina
out
Campos.
wait last.
Elba Cuevas, Raina R., Joshua M., Avraham, David Nadav, or Nadav David, I'm sorry, Lynn Goldfarb, Sophia Rome, and Miguel Kamnitzer.
He knows they're in there. He's been talking shit to him to calm
Good
down the
afternoon.
whole time.
Good afternoon. Which
he
items
sees
would
them
you
on
like
the
to
list.
speak to?
Item 135.
So, sorry, you said 35 or
135. 135.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for item 135. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, President and Council members. My name is Drew Gutierrez. I am the Labor Relations Representative for ILWU Local
Back off the
94,
mic, bro.
which is the foreman's local.
Ain't gotta
I'm in
eat it.
favor of the amendment. China Shipping provides hundreds of jobs per day for the surrounding communities, and it's important that we maintain those jobs. These jobs have provided for me and my family and the surrounding harbor communities for generations. We want clean air, but not at the cost of the possibility of losing our jobs. It's important that we keep those jobs in the port and keep the port striving, especially after the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Fool's gonna eat that mic. He's gonna eat that mic. He's gonna eat
Good
that
afternoon.
mic.
Good afternoon. If you could, which items would you like to speak to?
47.
I'm sorry, which items?
47.
So, sorry, on 47, 47 is not open for public comment, but you can speak to it during general. So you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Sí.
Okay. Anytime today.
Yes, so you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Someone in Spanish tell him.
Ya puede empezar, tiene un minuto.
There you
Okay.
go.
Public comment.
Jesus Christ.
Muy buenos días, honorables, a cada uno de ustedes. Mi nombre es René Amiel
Not the brightest
Panagua,
bunch.
presidente de la Asociación de Migrantes Guatemaltecos,
Hi.
ANGLA.
Hi, how are you? My name is Rene Panagua, and I am the representative of the
He deaf.
Guatemalan Community
just fine right
Organization.
now.
Guatemala es
Doesn't know
una
English.
sociedad multicultural, multibilingüe, donde conviven varios pueblos originarios, entre ellos maya, cinca, garífuna y ladinos.
Un segundo, señor. The Guatemalan society is a multicultural society. The Guatemalan society is a multilingual society, and it has many other societies within it, like Cinca, Kawaya, and Maya.
Estos pueblos indígenas sufren una situación de desigualdad.
These indigenous people are going through and are suffering inequality
Y exclusión consecuencia al racismo y al individualismo.
and they face racism and individualism.
Estamos como guatemaltecos agradeciendo que ya que a través de 38 años que yo llevo viviendo acá,
And we are here as Guatemalans thanking you, and I've been here for the last 38 years.
Hoy día tenemos un concejal que se preocupa por mantener unida nuestra comunidad.
Today we have a council member that she is worried and she wants to make sure that our community is united.
Ya es hora que no dependamos de personas que no son guatemaltecos y nos quieran venir a dividir.
And it's now time that we do not depend on people who are not Guatemalan and they want to divide us.
Hoy día esta moción de la concejal Ulises nos está uniendo. Muchas gracias.
Today the motion by council member Ulises is uniting us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, niggers.
Good
I want to speak on all items and non-agenda public comment.
Your discretion
You have
is
3 minutes
advised.
for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Before you begin, I expect that we're going to hear some language that's used that is offensive to a great many people who are here. Please keep in mind that, unfortunately, we have to give him his full time. So I would ask that everybody in the audience, please do not interrupt Mr. Herman while he's speaking. If anything, he's trying to bait you into doing so. If you do interrupt, then we do
That
have to
man's
warn you
racist.
because he is allowed to speak. So, but it does not reflect the views of this council
Who just
or
shouted
this city.
out, sergeants?
Who
Who shouted out just now?
I believe the lady over there did.
Okay, whoever is shouting out, I've warned this entire audience multiple times, do not disrupt the work of this council. So if I hear it again, you'll be removed from the council chambers. Mr. Herman, start.
3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment.
Hurry up.
Hearing comments relative to the application to determine public alcohol and convenience. I'm an objection to the necessity in CD2, the pink-faced dictator, sales of alcohol beverages for fucking off-site consumption. We have enough consumption, Paul. We have enough alcohol on the streets. That's why people are being targeted at the bus and train stops because they're under the influence of these fucking drugs that you put on our streets every motherfucking time. It's not a convenience. It's not a necessity. It's a safety issue, you white motherfucker. And then on 240678 CD2 Dick, the application to determine public convenience or necessity for the sale of alcohol beverages for the off-sale consumption at Kangaroonian gas station. Well, we don't need those fucking sand niggers in our hood giving alcohol to the neighbors. No. Save Palestine, motherfuckers. Then I go to item 1, dick-faced tater.
Dick-faced tater.
Grant the application of public convenience and necessity for the sale of alcohol located at 6635 Fallbrook, not fall on your ass broke brook or drunk brook, but no, Avenue, pink-faced dictator. That's item number 1. More fucking alcohol and necessity for the public? Are we not tired of seeing drunks on our streets? Or do I have to speak out to the earth? Is this real? The temperature's rising. I don't want to feel I'm in the wrong talking about alcohol. The reason that we're here and the reason that we fear is that more alcohol, more drugs, more fentanyl, more smoking is going to kill us
you've
all.
already spoken to those 2 items, so move on to something else or go to general public comment.
Stop smoking.
Let's go to fuck the convention center. What item is that, fool?
General
I want to
public
talk
comment.
about the convention center. Ain't giving
All right,
me
go
a
to
nigga
general
job.
public comment.
It's 54, asshole. That's what I said. Now into my non-agenda public comment. The reason I'm here is to protest and save Palestine from a white niggers who keep sending the money to kill the children. And I know that the temperature in this room is rising, just like my mojo that keeps on rising, and I'm in the wrong. Whoa, I got a reason.
What song?
A reason that
Don't
is
shout into the
real.
microphone.
I'm talking about Save Palestine on my non-agenda public comment. You fucking pink-faced dictator, stop interrupting my fucking public, Tom. 42 USC politely. Fuck you.
Have a seat. Have a seat. I didn't call you, Spindler. I didn't call you. Have a seat.
Duarte
Next
Hernandez.
speaker. I didn't call
Duarte
you.
Hernandez.
I didn't call you. Next speaker, please.
See, they sign up as different names so they don't know who they're calling on.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
104 in general comment and public comment.
Does that
And I have
Mickey Mouse?
documents for the council people.
So you're welcome to hand the documents to the
shit.
sergeants if you'd like them to be passed out. Item number 104, this council's actually not taking action on it today, so it's not open for public comment, but you can speak to it during general. So
Okay.
go ahead and give the documents to the sergeants, and you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Weren't the people before speaking to 104?
So they were given a
I'm
minute,
sorry.
and it
I'm
was
sorry.
their,
One
go ahead
moment,
and hold
please.
their time.
Mr. Herman, sit down and be silent.
Like a little kid.
So they were given a minute. They
He
requested
can't-
for
he
104,
can't
but
do
the
nothing
reason why
right
they were
when
given
he's-
a minute is because it was general public comment. So
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
All
guy.
right. Well, my name is Nadav David. I'm a resident of Pico Robertson neighborhood. I'm speaking on behalf of dozens of Jewish Pico Robertson residents and people who pray in the neighborhood. It's important for you to know that Pico Robertson is part of a diverse Jewish LA community where a 2021 study showed that less than half of the local Jewish population identifies as Zionist. We share in our broad commitments to organize for Palestinian freedom and against land theft and occupation, and to address anti-Semitism as part of other issues, and to create safety for Jews and all people in our city. We are deeply alarmed by the responses we've seen to last Sunday's Palestinian-led demonstration of an Israeli real estate event. We affirm and support the right to protest, especially amidst relentless mass killing of Palestinians in Gaza, carried out by the Israeli state and military and backed by our own U.S. government. Last week alone, we learned that 20,000...
The one you voted for, too, because there's no way you voted for Trump. Not one.
expired.
No way.
Next speaker, please.
No
Sorry,
fucking
your
way.
time has expired. Next speaker,
So now
please.
you're mad because the dude you voted for is bombing the shit out
And
of
as
the
our
people
next
you
speaker
like
is
so
coming
much.
up, I'm going to call
Got it.
Our final names.
Makes sense.
Wickle, Hayes.
So no Spindler.
Raisin, Jadi.
He just fucked Spindler.
And Hyun Young Kim, please.
He just fucked Spindler. That's fucked
Yeah,
up.
Please don't shout out. We're not going to get to everybody. I told you that at the beginning. Next speaker, please.
See? It's fucked up. All those people went down to talk. They didn't all get to
Good
talk.
afternoon.
I'm sorry. Stop shouting out. How many warnings do I have to give? There's a speaker at the podium ready to speak. This isn't call and repeat. Just be quiet and let the speaker speak.
So I'm here to speak on item 104 and public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go
So
ahead.
I saw you gave other people opportunity to speak 1 minute for the item and an additional minute for public comment, and I am only asking for the same.
So that was only on items that are open for public comment. Right now, 104 is not open for public comment because this council is not taking action on that item today. So you have 1 minute for general public comment. You can speak to the item 104 if you would like. Go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Avraham. I'm here to urge you to throw out item 104 in every form. Why are you so mad at Palestine? Palestinians are just people from a real place. Go look at a map, any history book. There's no need to argue, get political, make things about religion. Palestine is real, and Palestine was conquered by the British and the Zionists. Don't make it about religion. Are we in Sunday school? Is God a real estate agent? Please, we all need to grow up. If Russia or China was buying off American politicians, we call that espionage and treason. When Israel buys our politicians, we simply call it AIPAC. Last week, I was here at City Council asking for a ceasefire. Within 10 seconds, the council shut me down and the bailiff got physical with me. How quick you are to put your hands on Jewish people. You don't care about our well-being. Only Israel, only Zionism. And make no mistake, the greatest threat to Jewish safety in America right now, outside of outright Nazis, are Zionists. Within the last year, myself and my Jewish friends have been issued death threats from Zionists.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Next speaker. Sit down. Sit down, please. Next speaker. You're disrupting the meeting. Sit down and be silent. Next speaker. Sit down.
Okay, the speaker who was just at the podium, this is your first and only formal warning. Please do not disrupt this meeting. We have a lot of speakers who are here, so I understand that people are passionate about a lot of items on the agenda. The sooner that you guys, that we are able to move on to the next speaker, the more speakers we can take. So.
And also, I just want to add, I know that shouting draws applause, but shouting also injures the ears of our translator who's listening to this on her headphones and trying to do her job translating for people.
Now we're going to have to pay her $2 million.
Do not shout into the microphone. It's not necessary.
She's going to sue and get that
we can
money.
Hear you. Next speaker, please.
General
Good
comment.
afternoon.
I'd like to address Councilmember Yaroslavsky hypocrisy. Recently, when a Jewish man attempted to speak up for a ceasefire, this council was quick to not only silence him, but also called on security to remove him before he could finish speaking, and even got physical. These actions make the council complicit in the rise of anti-Semitism and fascism. It means to stop. Stop emboldening Zionists by providing them with funding that could better serve the people in this city, funding that could, at the very least, install a few more kiosks for public comment. Funding that could do more than provide a Band-Aid to our unhoused community, improve public transit, build more protected bike lanes, and provide more opportunities for the children. We are continually failing time and time again as we stay silent. When you choose to fund a pro-Zionist security firm like Magen Am, you give power to those who've told my husband that jihadists will slit your wife's throat for the way she dresses, or the Zionists who approached me and my Jewish friends at a peaceful protest telling us that, quote, next time you'll get a bullet. It was only a couple months ago that members from Magen Am attacked and harassed UCLA students.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Next
you. We
speaker,
don't
please.
care. Yeah, that's fucked up. They snuffed Spindler out.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
So I just want to say that there was a confusion because you said 82 to 105 before that were up for comment. So that's your fault.
Just to
That's your
make
fault,
sure everybody's
though.
on the same page. Item number 104 is not open for public
you should
comment
have said that
because this
before.
council is not taking action on the substance of the substitute motion today.
Okay, so not to get all technical, but you said 82 to 105 before, so that's on you. That's why we're all saying 104.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is absurd to try to get $2 million for more public safety BS when it's not providing safety for anyone. Schools, education, clean water, housing provide safety. We're so sick of this bullshit anti-Semitism being excused. This is not providing safety for anyone, and you all should be ashamed of yourselves for continuing this rhetoric and for supporting this genocide in Palestine. I just want to say again, there's enough fucking money going to arms and violence in this city. We're sick of it. I'm an anti-Zionist Jew, and as a Jew, I will say over and over, police do not make oppressed groups safer, ever. So, and shame on you all for not putting that to the budget committee. It's so fucked up, and you should all be doing other things than fucking arming militaries. Thank you.
Next speaker.
What a freedom fighter.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Public comment.
Okay, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Okay. I'm a Jewish woman living in Los Angeles, and I oppose the seizure of Palestinian land for Israelis to purchase and develop. I believe in free speech and the right to protest, especially against these kinds of inequities. I do not believe in violence, and I strongly oppose the allocation of our taxpayer money to hire organizations like MAGA-M to protect synagogues. At a time of high tension, and resulting in both anti-Semitic and anti-Muslim rhetoric and attack. I urge you all to be careful about how you speak, the language you use, and the way you are portraying the situation. Please listen to all sides. Thank you.
What's doing
Thank you very much.
Donepezil.
Next
What is
speaker,
that,
please.
James?
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Not in our name, it says,
Item
I think.
104, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin.
I forgot to
My name is Miguel Kamnitzer.
My
I'm
jobs.
here with Jewish Voice for Peace. Like so many here today, I was outraged to hear about a motion to fund private security forces in the name of Jewish safety. More guns on our streets, more policing, and more surveillance will endanger everyone in the city. Councilmember Yaroslavsky had the terrible judgment to propose that the private security force Magen Am be one of the main recipients of our tax dollars. Magen Am is staffed by former Israeli military and receives support from the NRA. Among their instructors are far-right fanatics who preach that homosexuality is a sin. As a gay Angelino, I am horrified that an elected official would think it appropriate to unleash these people and their weapons onto the streets of our city. When Councilmember Yaroslavsky and other community leaders claim to speak for all Jews, they do not speak for me. They try to label the movement for Palestinian freedom as anti-Semitic, but they are wrong. Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism because occupation, apartheid, ethnic cleansing, and genocide are not Jewish values. Just as I refuse to allow a genocide to happen in my name, I refuse to allow...
Your time has expired. Next speaker.
Thank you very much.
You know
Thank
what's
you.
funny
Next
is
speaker,
all
please.
those people, every last one of them in that group, if they voted for Biden. Now they're mad. I love it.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
There's no.
General
I
comment.
assure you, there is
Okay, so you have
nobody
1
in
minute for general
that's a
public
Trump
comment. Please begin.
Trumper sitting in that little crowd right there.
My Jewish family
Except for-
was expelled from
except for
pogroms
Herman, of
in
course.
Poland and Lithuania. Do you guys have an idea what that involved? That involved stealing their land theft. And that's what you guys enabled on that Sunday and desecrated and perverted this place of worship. And now that is criminal activity, and now you want to compliment and support the criminals by sending them money. I don't think so.
They do it
and I
here.
was there with other Jews, and we were protesting, exercising our First Amendment, and now what are you going to call us, anti-Semitic? I don't think so. Cut the nonsense and drop the 104 drop the whole thing, because you're just enabling criminal behavior that violates the Geneva Convention, and you're not making us safer.
That's what they do every day, dude. Has nothing to do with even the Palestinian whole deal.
Next speaker, please.
Every day with the criminals. They protect the criminals. They don't protect you. And that's
Good
why
afternoon.
crime is
Which
out of
items Would
control.
you like to speak to?
This is just general public comment.
Okay, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Hi there. Good afternoon and fuck the Supreme Court. Today I'm here to draw the connection on how the 2020 reaction by police and white supremacist sympathizers were allowed to antagonize, brutalize, bait, and entice protesters, how they have continued to evolve, and again with impunity have systematically attacked protesters that have been activated to oppose the ongoing genocide. You then turn a blind eye, and again, you're doing it now. The city has allowed both law enforcement and vigilantes to wield their power at will. They have allowed for abuse of power from law enforcement to call overwhelmingly peaceful protests unlawful assemblies, in essence using their power to silence our freedoms, to redress our government, and exercise the promise of the First Amendment. This is not what a democracy looks like. In 2020, we watched 3%ers, Proud Boys, off-duty police, and on-duty police gather right here across the police department, knowing there are weapons in the crowd and public use of alcohol. The police stood down as a black woman was taken captive with her arms restricted by a man twice her size, while others bear sprayed her.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hopefully Spindler gets to talk, but I don't think they're going to let him.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 47.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
President Krikorian, City Council members, this is Johnny Pineda. With me today, I have a coalition letter, petition letter in support of naming the Guatemalan Landmark Project, Council File 240491. over 600 individuals have signed this letter in support of endorsing Councilmember Eunices Hernandez Guatemalan project. This project is really important for the Guatemalan community because it seeks to create a working group so they can join forces and work together in, one, choosing a name for the area, two, making sure that there are resources being designated for the Guatemalan community in Westlake. Three, it makes sure that, you know, Mayan communities are included on this motion as well. It seeks to include everyone from the Guatemalan community. That's why, you know, we are urging the city council members to support this motion today. This is a critical step in the right direction. It's the first time that a council member introduces a motion to create a Guatemalan area, and I like to recommend an area myself, Guatemala Town. Please support this motion, and the Guatemalan community looks forward to working with all the council members, president, and the mayor. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
No, thank you, Mr. Acavano.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 47, Jean Mesa.
So you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, city members and guests. The city of Los Angeles is home to the largest group of Guatemalans outside Guatemala. A community has flourished here since the 1960s. The Angelinos, many of whom began their new lives in Westlake area, have enriched our district with vibrant culture, cuisine, and entrepreneurial spirit. They have opened businesses, purchased property, and significantly contributed to the local economy. Despite their substantial impact, the Guatemalan community has yet to receive the formal recognition it deserves. Today, you have the opportunity to change that. Your support is essential for the city of Los Angeles to honor their work, present, and cultural contributions. I enthusiastically support this motion and urge City Council to endorse this initiative. Not only symbolizes the City of LA appreciation for the Guatemalan community, but incorporates meaningful community engagement. Together, we can create a vibrant and welcoming space that reflects the aspirations and contributions of all Guatemalans in Los Angeles, setting precedent for similar projects across the United States.
Thank you very much. Next
Thank
speaker,
you,
please.
we don't care.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Estoy aquí por el item 47.
I'm here to talk about item 47.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Saludos, presidente y miembros del concilio. Estoy aquí en el apoyo de la emoción 47.
Hello, President and Council members. I'm here to support item 47.
Esta moción busca formar un grupo de guatemaltecos y una mesa de trabajo para nombrar y crear una área guatemalteca, Guatemala Town.
This motion is trying to form a Guatemalan group and a force of a group of work and an area that we would like it to call Guatemalan Town.
Y tenemos más de 600 firmas.
We have over 600 signatures.
Esta moción es única en su historia y es el primer paso.
This motion is the first one in the history, and we hope to be the first step
para reconocer la contribución de los guatemaltecos en la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
So we can be recognized the contribution of the Guatemalans here in Los Angeles.
Gracias por su atención y esperamos tomar que el concilio y el presidente tome esto en cuenta.
Thank you for your attention, and I hope that the president and the council members take this into consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No,
Next speaker, please.
Buenas tardes, señor presidente, miembros del consejo y a todos los que están en esta sala.
Good afternoon, President, council members, and everyone who is in these chambers.
Vengo a pedir su apoyo para el item número 47.
I'm here to ask you to support item number 47.
Mi nombre es Brenda Campos.
My name is Brenda Campos.
Lo único que les quiero decir acerca de esta moción, porque es que yo la apoyo porque siento que no es para pelear, sino es para conciliar.
I am here to support this motion, and what I can say is the reason why I support it is because this is going to help us not fight, but otherwise it's going to unite us.
Estoy muy agradecida con la concejal Eunice Hernández del City 1.
I am very thankful to Council Member Eunice Hernandez from District Number 1.
Porque ella está tratando de traer a los guatemaltecos a una mesa donde se pueda construir algo con el nombre Guatemalteco Town.
Because she's bringing the Guatemalan people at a table so we can all build together an area that we could call it Guatemalan Town.
Me enorgullece como guatemalteca.
It makes me proud as a Guatemalan.
Y me encantaría que todas las personas que vienen por este mismo item, a favor o en contra, nos sentemos en una mesa, platiquemos y lleguemos a un acuerdo.
And I would hope that everyone who is here, either in favor or not in favor, that we can all sit together at a table and we can talk and get to a point that we can all feel comfortable.
Para poder obtener un lugar donde todos disfrutemos cuando realmente nos sintamos guatemaltecos, no nada más en el momento de pedirlo.
And that we can maybe build a place that we can all enjoy and that we can all feel proud of being a Guatemalan, not just when we're fighting.
Seamos un ejemplo a seguir de paz, de construcción y de buenos vecinos y apoyemos esta moción número 47.
And let's be the example for a path of peace, to build things as neighbors, and let's work together so we can make this happen.
Por su atención, muchas gracias y espero que entiendan que es algo que necesitamos. Gracias.
I thank you for your attention, and I hope that you understand that this is something that we need very much.
Mrs. Guatemala?
Thank you very much.
I want to see who she is. Oh, come on.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Amarilis Ortiz, soy presidente de la Asociación Guatemalteca Americana Agua y soy fundadora original del Día del Guatemalteco en la ciudad de Los Ángeles. Y quiero hablar de la moción del item 47.
Un segundito, señora, para que le pueda interpretar, ¿ok? Gracias. Hi, how are you? My name is Amareli Ortiz, and I am one of the founders of Guatemalan Day. And also I'm one of the founders of the Guatemalan Association, and I'm here to talk about item 47.
This is Guatemalan 81.
El día de aquí los guatemaltecos que estamos reunidos en este sitio, estamos todos en unidad, estamos luchando para tener dentro de la ciudad de Los Ángeles un lugar que nos merecemos. Cada uno de los concejales que se encuentran el día aquí,
and we are here, all the Guatemalans that we are in this place at this moment, we are all here united, we are here to fight so we can all accomplish to have a place here in Los Angeles, a place that we all deserve, and everyone here, all the council members.
Conocen el trabajo de los guatemaltecos
Who
y
was the
creo
chick
que
you were
somos
telling me about
una
that won
comunidad de
the
respeto, de
Mrs.
valores y principios,
Georgia
en
or
donde lo
whatever,
principal que nos enseñan es a
the heavy
respetar a
one?
las mujeres.
And I think that you all know that Guatemalans are all about working, our values to respect, and all about respecting women.
Y por eso es que estoy en apoyo de la moción de la concejal Eunices Hernández y tengo 600 firmas en esta carpeta en apoyo a ella y toda mi comunidad que tengo 30 años de trabajar para ellos. Así es que necesitamos una mesa de trabajo para sacar el país adelante en esta nación tan grande y poderosa. Y aquí tengo el logo de la ciudad porque...
Un segundo. And this is the reason why I am supporting this motion, the motion by Council Member Eunices Hernandez, and I also have in this binder over 600 signatures supporting this. I've been working here for the last 30 years, and that's why it's very much needed to be able to have a table so we can sit and talk, and we can build in this beautiful nation that we have here, which is very strong.
Thank you very much.
You know, at least she doesn't say as it relates to. So you think she was Miss Guatemala in 81, maybe? Whoa, what's that?
Which items
Why don't we got music playing? What the fuck where's that coming from?
My name is Lydia Ponce, and I'd like to speak on all of the items.
Where the fuck was that coming from?
General, because I am a Mayo Quechua
was that a
indigenous grandmother.
And 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
I'm an indigenous woman standing before you, and I celebrated the halls of every time we talked for across the table to colonial settlers who wanted to wipe out Indigenous Peoples Day. So I stand before you to include the indigenous people, the relatives of
Guatemalan
folks. They don't wear sombreros. That you're speaking to, Because
All of them, because it's all indigenous. For 500 years, we've been colonized. We've been settled.
So this sounds
You've
like
ruined
general
the
public
waterways.
comment, so you
You've
can have 1
ruined the
minute for
land.
general
You
public
stole
comment.
from the indigenous
Speaker,
people.
you have 1 minute for general public comment. If there are
You've
other
all
specific items you would
manifested
like to speak
the
to,
manifest
please let us
destiny,
know.
the doctrines of discovery, everything, including the Bible. You have shoved it down our throats. Then you refuse to allow us to speak, traveling from all sides of Los Angeles. We should be here until midnight. We should be here until all the people are heard.
The wrath of God will strike
All I
you
can
down.
say is that there's going to be a lawsuit coming because I come here to speak on behalf of indigenous rights, indigenous sovereignty, indigenous protection of land. The $2 million should go to the graffiti buildings to house people. Stop wasting our time, our money, and our energy. We're here for everyone. Everyone has a right to a tall, cool glass of water, a plate of food, and a place to rest their head. Everyone has a right, including the indigenous Palestine people, my relatives. Thank you.
Well, I don't think you know how construction
Next
works,
speaker,
ma'am.
please.
$2 million wouldn't even do anything for that building. Barely put a fence around it. Oh, Spindler's here. Viewer discretion is advised. No
Good
puppet.
afternoon. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public
He's gonna
comment.
go
All the
off.
fucking Adam. That's right.
All fucking at it.
Yeah, we're getting number one over here in alcohol. In CD 12 by that no good bastard Stepper B. Going to Target so you can buy your underwear and your cheap shoes and get your liquor so you can walk home and beat your old lady because most of these dickless men wouldn't touch a woman unless they drunk. Right, Eunice? I have to agree. Exactly. And that's why Ben Obulafor, hold on here. What's all this screaming about in the background? Now we get to item number 2. In a 7-Eleven in Vineland Avenue and CD2. That is a fucking shithole over there, filled with urine, drug needles, and garbage all over the place. And Paul Martin Krikorian, known as the Goat Herder, wants to fucking put a alcohol license in the middle of the ghetto so them poor people can never get sober, never get an education, never amount to shit. That's what the plan of all of these Zionist motherfuckers that pay you to put them asses in them chairs to keep the poor man down and drunk and stupid. Then we get to number 3. Corrugalassian gas station in West Sherman Way, another certified shithole. People drinking themselves to death. And many of you in this council grew up in them shithole communities, like Eunice and Kevin. And some of us didn't, like Mr. Price and Blair. But drinking yourself to death ain't the answer. The answer is sobriety and the acceptance of Jesus Christ as your Savior. That's the only way you ever gonna live a good life. Now we get to all kinds of bullshit. And we'll start by just saying politely, fuck number 54 and your convention center.
Speaker, item number 54 is
sounds
not
like
open
he's
for
on to
public
general
comment.
public comments. Let's give him
Number
a minute for general public
79.
comment.
All right. You see, Bob, you can't defeat me. You see, Eunice, you cannot defeat me. I will be here to preach and lead you to the promised land. A 13-year sentence in federal prison is where I'm going to lead all of you. I'm going to start with Price. I'm going to move to Monte Cal. I'm going to move to Stamper B. I'm going to put y'all where you belong in the Grey Bar Hotel, where you can read the Bible every day and get 3 cots and a hot, as they say.
1 hot and a cup.
That's right, fool.
1 hot
And
and
what's
3
Paul
hots.
Martin Krikorian going to do without a bar card? You know better than that dumb shit, Rudy Giuliani. You the same dumb nigga you always gonna be. So finally, I'll be back for the special meeting. 42 USC. Fuck all of you, but
Your time is expired.
so they have a
Okay,
special
we'll go.
meeting
We've
after
taken over an hour and a half of comment here in the council chambers. We'll now
Bro,
go to the phones
we're
for 15
3
minutes of
hours
comments on
into
the
this
phone.
fucking thing. And we haven't even heard the people on the phones yet. 3 fucking
No,
hours.
you can't do that. Sorry, you're disrupting public comment. Everybody, is it ordered to be silent or leave the council chambers? Sergeants, they're not complying with my orders. Please ask them to leave the council chambers immediately and quietly.
The Palestinians
so that
are
we
mad.
can continue to take comment from members of the public who wish to speak to the city council.
So everyone who is singing and clapping, that includes the people who are on the right side of the council chambers, you are asked to be quiet so we can move on with public comment for the phones. So you were warned, and now you are being told that you're excluded from the meeting. So please leave the meeting
It's going to
quietly.
take a minute. You're going to have to exclude about 15, 20 people.
Please hurry up and leave and stop chanting so we can take more comment from more people.
Hurry up and leave. Hurry up and buy.
Sergeants,
Hurry up
let's
and buy.
move them along, please.
Too funny, man. It's alright, though. They breed this type of shit. They deserve it. It's good to see the people that vote for him giving him shit. Because we know they don't vote the other way. There's just no way they vote the other way. There's no way. It's impossible. Impossible.
And for people who are watching this or listening remotely, we are still waiting for the people who were warned and ejected from the meeting to leave so that we can continue with public comment on the phones.
All right,
Not the
let's go to the first
LAPD
caller,
up front.
First caller, which items would you like
Look
to
at-
speak on?
He's right here. Spindler's right there, flicking them off.
Yeah, DanielGus.substack.com. Just the animal services item and general public comment.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry,
Shout
I
out
could
to
not
Daniel
hear
Gus.
the items. Can you repeat them one more time? Your time has not started. Which items would you like to speak to?
Yeah, the one about the animal services salaries being transferred and general public comment.
Go ahead and start with general public comment. I'm just trying to find the number for the animal services. So you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Hundreds of them. Yeah, DanielGus.substack.com. I am going to use your recess to show the public how to fight back against this censorship with the phones, the aggressive, if not illegal, redaction of public records, and we're going to be dealing with 2 calls. And they're going to have separate lawsuits, and I'm going to walk the public through how you file a claim. I'm going to show how you then sue if the claim is rejected, and how you can even do all of this from the comfort of your home, DanielGus.substack.com, where you're going to find out how to take back your rights. Because when you let them abuse the privilege, they will abuse the privilege. You have a right to unredacted records for the most part. You have a right to participate. I'm going to show you how I documented it, and there will be thousands of dollars at stake, each one a separate small claims lawsuit that you can file and
All right.
have the trial.
You guys, that concludes your general public comment. So go to the
Shout out
agenda
to Daniel
item
Gus
now,
for
please.
whooping
Which
him real
agenda
quick.
item was that?
The
Mr.
animal
City Attorney.
services one.
So I don't believe there's one
Salary
specific
one.
to animal services, but one of the amendments did include a line about animal services. So you have
Okay,
1 minute,
so 1 minute.
for
He's
the
an award-winning
item. I
journalist.
believe it's 127.
Daniel.
Great. You guys know that the only reason I'm looking at these other things is because Herb Wesson dared me to write about something other than animal issues. Well, you're not taking in animals. I have proof of boxes of animals being dumped, including by Mr. Harris Dawson's pound. We know that animals are disappearing, and we have found out how. So you're not taking in animals. You're not you're not accounting for the animals. Work isn't being done. So why do you need to shift salary? In fact, according to the public statements by Animal Services in the mayor's office, you don't need the money that you're transferring. Obviously, that's not true, but rather than engaging in dialoguing and trying to figure out how to make it better, you're shifting the money around. It'll never get better. And by the way, final note, these 7-figure settlements that you're making at Animal Services are completely avoidable and preventable and predictable. And soon, you're going to start getting hit with 8-figure lawsuits because
Thank you. Next
Yeah,
caller.
shout out to Daniel Gus. Cat, thank you for the huge dono. I
Next
love the
caller,
note,
which
too.
items would you like to speak on?
Thank you, Cat.
Quan, I'd like to speak on all items and general public comment.
Shout out to
So
Rob
you have
Kwan.
3 minutes for the items.
Thank
and
you, Kat.
just for
You
everybody
rock.
who's on the phones, the
Happy
items
Fourth
that are
to you and your
currently
fam.
open for public comment are items 1 through 3, items 82 through 103, item
from- and
105,
please thank
item
the
117,
hubby for me.
and items 121 through 152.
Thanks, Mr. Harlan,
So, Mr.
for
Kwan,
me.
you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't see you in person. You've got like 5 rows blocked off, 6 rows for presentations, even though there were no presentations.
Go ahead and speak to the agenda items, Mr. Kwan.
1, 2, 84, and 85. These are all valley issues, Mr. Krikorian. I just wonder, is this city council ever going to return to Van Nuys City Hall for a meeting? It's been like 6 months. We used to do that every other month. And these are valley issues. Some of them in your district, Paul. I'm sure your constituents would have loved to be there and talk about.
Okay, again, speak to the agenda items, please.
82 is the state of emergency on homelessness. Just want to reiterate, when that 50-cent sales tax goes down in the fall and your plan to address homelessness blows up in your face, it's going to be because of the county and city corruption issue. Nobody trusts you. 54 is on the convention center, and it's just beautiful to see how the Olympics.
So, Mr. Kwan, 54 is not open for public comment. You can speak to it during general, though. But go ahead and stick with the items for now, please.
I'll say some nice things on I-124. The council president previously said this nominee would be a thoughtful person of unquestioned independence who will be resolutely committed to enforcement of our city's ethics laws. That's not easy to do, apparently. It took us a year to find an appointment, but very happy to see the one that did come through. Bob Stern is easily the most qualified city resident imaginable for this position, and is probably the single most qualified person ever appointed to the City Ethics Commission. Unfortunately, this whole appointment of ethics commissioners has become deeply politicized with this council. That spilled out in the recent gutting of ethics charter reforms that would have added 2 commission spots chosen through open application, because this body cannot resist the temptation to act as a veto for interest groups that fund the re-election. I didn't hear any specials. Maybe we'll see somebody chime in, but I'm hoping, knock on wood, that goes through. For once, you might do something decent. With this appointment, we will finally have 5 members on the commission, all 5, for the first time in a year and a half. Mind you, over the last 5.5 years, we've had a full 5 commissioners for just 40% of that stretch. And your charter reforms actually make it worse by tripling the amount of time electeds have to make an appointment while offering no consequences for their failure to act, which is what we saw over this last year. I just want to go towards, how much time do I got? Am I done with my items?
6 seconds. Then you have general.
God. Well, give me. I'll
General
go to my
public comment?
We had 161 items. Enjoy this preview of what your agenda will look like if this body meets once a week. Notable that we had the same amount of public comment as usual, even though we have 4 times the normal amount of items. All this talk about disruption. The big disruption at the top of this meeting was the half an hour it took you guys to start the meeting. Included in the long list of people stuck outside were some workers from SEIU 721, Ugo, that you were posing with outside, but you couldn't get him inside. Mind you, Ugo did not properly recuse himself earlier. He has to state specifically what that source of income was. He can't just say, I have an investment. I'm going to work on some brownout stuff for you over the break. Have a good one. Bye.
Shout out to Rob Kwan, man. I like him.
Thank you, Mr. Kwan. I'm sure that must have been painful for you to acknowledge, so I appreciate your forthrightness in acknowledging Mr. Stern's qualifications. Next speaker, please.
Next
Tit
caller,
for
which
tat
item would you
there.
like to speak on?
He's busy eating.
Caller
have
with
a
the
lunch.
last four digits 0038.
Lunch.
Please press star 6 to unmute yourself.
General public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Y'all wild. Y'all crazy. How about earmarking $1 million to give off to Kyle Rittenhouse? How about that? Because that's basically what you're doing by funding Magin Am and LA Schmira. All of these groups that are paramilitaries that are going into these streets, abusing peaceful protesters who are speaking out against the countless deaths that are happening in Palestine. And you want to go ahead and fund these paramilitary groups? This is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. How about we don't? How about we fund housing? How about we fund the ending of the genocide, the rebuilding of Palestine? Like, there's so much
They
better
can build
things
that
we can
shit
do with this
themselves.
money.
Fuck them.
And yet you choose to bring this as an ordinance. And then you want to table it. Say, oh,
Thank you. Next caller, please.
Next caller, which items would you like to speak on?
You said you might as well hire Kyle Rittenhouse.
Hi, I'd like to. My name is Arnold. I'd like to speak
Didn't
on
get the job done.
item 104.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public
There's
comment.
that.
Please begin.
Appreciate it. I just want to let the council know the things we as citizens of LA, as ethnic minorities, as people of conscience, and as people of peace see with utter clarity. We see the council waffling on something as basic as supporting a ceasefire. We see the members of the council and the mayor providing beyond bad faith framing of the protest. We see the police being used as a cudgel against protesters, or worse, tacitly deputizing violent counter-protesters to act in their stead. We see the last-minute amendments on item 104 to thinly veil the previous embarrassingly racist and illegal version in order to make it more palatable. Shout out to the city attorney for correcting the council. And we see that this resolution and the council people signing on to the original version are trying to couch racist anti-Palestinian sentiment as pro-religious community support. And just 2 cents here, instead of $2 million in funds, how about we waive fees for a meeting room that the city provides so they can do their illegal land sales in a public facility instead of a house of worship, and we can protest there? Or is that unpalatable?
Thank you. Next caller, please.
Your gator's going off again.
Next
You
caller,
were
which
right about
items
the
would you like
first
to
one,
speak on?
Jack. I'll trust you.
Caller with the last four digits
Caller, how does my vagina
9519.
look?
Please press star 6 to unmute yourself.
Look nicer than my face.
Yes, my name is Jason. I'm a smoker scan viewer.
There's one.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Let me speak on all available items, 104, and general public comment, sir.
So item 104 is not open for public comment, but you can speak to it during general. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
That's mighty wide of you, sir. Yes. Anyway, I'd like to say, so the other day I'm down on Figueroa. With this
Yes,
chick, and
sir.
I
What
paid
you
her
did on
$5.
Figueroa is
Yes,
not
sir.
on our agenda, so
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to go ahead and move you to general public comment. He has 1 minute.
Oh, yeah? Well, thank you there, Pink Face. Anyway, well, I guess I'll speak on 104 then. I like to say, as far as 104, Palestine, fuck Palestine there. As far as, y'all in here, chanting, free Palestine, you can free these nuts. I think we need to work on some more pertinent topics and items. Like let's stop all the shooting down here on Figueroa. Now. I want to call for a ceasefire on Figueroa again then, because the other day I was down on Figueroa as usual with this chick, and like I said, I paid her $5 to let me spit in her mouth with my penis. And so while I'm trying to get my thing done there, what I'm trying to say is that this chick had bruises and her face was cracked up and all that. And I was wondering if maybe we could, get the guys to come together and, teach them how not to, be bruised and whelped on the girls there, So, basically teach them how to, hit a one with a closed fist without leaving marks. Because we're doing some brutal things to these ladies down here on Figueroa. And I think...
Speaker, your time has expired.
Thank you. Next caller, please.
Next caller,
Shout out
which
to
items would you
Jason.
like to speak on?
They hate that he talks about Figueroa every time.
This is Byron Jose.
On item 86, 37, and general public comment.
I'm sorry, you said item 86, and what was the other item along with general public
my name is
comment?
Jason. of the Smoke and Scare
37
Review.
and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for item 86. The other item you listed is not open for public comment.
you ain't
can
getting
speak
in,
to it
Brock?
during general. So you have 1 minute
I
for
don't
the
know, it's a
item
tough
and
day
1 minute
today.
for general public comment. Please begin with the item.
Thank you. Byron Jose, City 8 constituent. In your 200 items agenda, there are close to 40 motions, most of which transfer funds to the LAPD, even after the billions of dollars you recently allocated to the LAPD as part of the budget process. And over 11 motions mostly are payouts, settlements due to the LAPD incompetence. One of these motions alone includes $250,000 transfer from CD2 alone on one motion. We look forward to engaging every office to spend their discretionary funds in care and resources for all Angelinos, not just militarization and surveillance. Yes to Councilmember Padilla for the fiscal responsibility. The temperature is high, and your failure of a motion towards further surveillance and policing keep fanning the flames, and the summer is just starting. The violence you saw in your segregationist Pico neighborhood was led and instigated by the LAPD. Fuck Rule 16. Stafford B, like the good weasel that he is, moves to shut down referring a $2
Next
million
caller, please.
motion
Thank you.
through the
Next
budget
caller,
process.
please. Next caller.
Next caller. Next caller.
Next caller,
Sorry,
which
talk
items would you
over
like
you.
to speak
We
on?
don't want to hear that.
Good afternoon. Brock Landers, Los Angeles, and private investigator.
Good afternoon. Which items?
All open items and general public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
All right, thank you. 1 and 2. Why do you continue to pump poison into our community? With the speakers today, I think we can all agree that fetal alcohol syndrome is real, and it's bad. You scratch your heads and act like you don't understand why there are so many issues in our community. Maybe it's because you let anybody that donated to a campaign sell poison. Smoke and Scan is against selling poison in the community. Close all the dispensaries. Stop getting rich off of selling poison. 82. Because she's incompetent, the mayor tries to roll through emergency action. It's almost like if we didn't waste $160 million on 200 rooms, we would be in a better place. We need to get somebody that knows what they're doing and isn't a diversity hire. 88, vegetation management that doesn't rely on herbicides. I'm all for this. After a girlfriend of mine was removing vegetation, there must have been some remnants of some nair that I got in my eye, and it burned like nobody's business. Why are you guys trying to keep poison out of your community here, but you're okay keeping it in there with the alcohol? 90, renaming streets. I've been saying this for over a year. We need to make Smoke and Scan Boulevard. And for those of you that are confused, Stinks is our leader. Damon is in charge of feeding him and changing the litter box. All hell stinks. 102. On this, I'm really for this. Anything we can do in the community with skate parks and parks for kids. I was going to talk about being a disappointment to my parents since I was 4, and when I turned out, they never let me forget how I ruined their lives. And if I would have had a skate park like this, I might not have turned to a world of perversion. Calamity Girl, thank you for letting me know that I'm more than my meat monster. General public comment.
Okay, you have 1 minute.
104. I was a disappointment to my father, but before he left this shitty world, he taught me if you're going to be done, you got to be tough. You guys keep talking about how bad it is here. Why don't you offer to trade places with one of those American hostages in Palestine and see how they treat you? And I have to know, do you guys support Hamas because you hate women and gays, or do you hate women and gays because you support Hamas? And to all the people that claim to be Jewish and support Hamas, growing up, I had a friend whose grandfather escaped from a concentration camp. Saying you're Jewish, you might as well try to convince me that you're black trying to join the KKK. And usually, I thank bad fathers for making strippers. I have to thank all of you protesters for turning your moms into jizz junkies on Figueroa, trying to drown their disappointment in me. Stay safe, Jason, and keep spitting in the mouth and watch them flying bullets. Ceasefire on Figueroa, and all you people that act like you're college students, why don't you guys...
Caller, your time has expired.
Thank you very much. That will close public comment on all agenda items and close general public comment. Madam Clerk, what's available now for us to vote on?
I guess that's it. That's gonna, dude. He was the last one to get in. Shout out to Brock. Great call, Brock.
Mr. President, would council like to vote on the items that? Oh, no, this is better. Council may now vote on items 1 through 3, 23, 83,
83,
86 through 91, 93 through 103,
Oh yeah, my internet's probably fucking Spectrum.
105,
Yeah, I see it just dipped.
120,
Spectrum dicking off as they
121,
always do.
124, 125, 127, 128, 131
No, it's not YouTube,
through
it's me.
133, 138
Sometimes during the
through
day,
140,
I get, everybody's on their internet. It's hot out.
142 through 144,
It starts to dip.
146 through
Shouldn't, but
148,
it does. They're throttling me.
and 150 through 152.
Thank you. Now, 124.
It's not that hot. It's only
actually should have
92.
called special, so we're going to
not
pull that
stupid
from that
hot. It's
list.
supposed to be 105
sorry.
tomorrow, I think.
But
Something like that.
on all of those
No,
other
Friday,
items that
sorry,
we just
Friday's
read,
105.
I see no members wishing to be heard. So, do any members wish to be heard?
It's not super hot. I mean, it's hot, but it's not super. The super hot comes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's the hot weekend.
All right. I see no members wishing to be heard on any of those items. So
105
let's go
is
ahead
warm
and
enough.
Open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the
We
votes.
gonna feel that. We finna feel
14
that.
eyes.
No
Very good.
way
Thank
we
you.
ain't.
Next, I would like to call item 124. And members, I'd like to introduce you to my appointee to the Ethics Commission, Robert Stern. Bob Stern is...
This is the guy Rob was talking about.
Perhaps the best known expert on ethics and governmental reform in the state of California. He's the past president of the Center for Governmental Studies. The Washington Monthly magazine described him as a campaign finance guru, and Peter Schrag, the editorial writer for the Sacramento Bee, called him the godfather of modern political reform in California.
Why don't you just get on
He
your
was
knees
the
and
principal
suck his cock?
co-author of the California Political Reform Act of 1974, which received 70% of the vote by California voters. He was the first general counsel of the California Fair Political Practices Commission, and he was the one of the principal drafters of our own city's ethics and public campaign financing law, which was passed by Los Angeles voters in 1990. He was the president of the Council on Governmental Ethics Laws, a national and, in fact, international organization consisting of experts and regulators on campaign finance and election and ethics laws. He was honored by the California Common Cause with their
112
Democracy
Rock
Hero
Out.
Award, and he was
Or
also
tomorrow.
honored with the Voter Participation Leadership Award by the League of Women Voters. He is undoubtedly, as Rob Kwan acknowledged, the best qualified appointee to the Ethics Commission in the history of the Ethics Commission, and I am very proud to be able to make this appointment. So I'd like to introduce you to Bob Stern. And if you have any comments, Mr. Stern?
Yes, if you
please
don't
go ahead.
mind. Thank you so much. That was a very kind introduction. I want to thank you for having the confidence in me to appoint me to the LA Ethics Commission.
I think it's time to cut
I feel
bait.
I owe it to the citizens of Los Angeles to accept the position, even though I'm retired, no longer actively working on reform studies. In my retirement, I teach 18 weeks a year. I have over 200 adult students taking my current events class this summer, by Zoom at Santa Monica Emeritus College. And in the fall, I'll teach a course called Elections 2024 at UCLA's Extension OSHA program.
Yeah, guys. I'm going to hop off here now because, I mean, shit. We've been on 3 hours, 33 minutes just to get this fucking this meeting done. It's crazy. And we got another show tonight at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to hop off now because all they're going to do is back Pat, and he's going to talk about himself, and, you know, all the general public comment is done. So I just, I think now's the time to pull the ripcord. Not to mention all the fireworks we already saw yesterday. We're good to go. I don't know. Does anybody know? Has anybody looked on the site to see if there's a meeting tomorrow? I don't know if there is. If there is, of course, we'll do it. If not, because they may be off for 4th of July early. That's what my understanding or thinking is, because they crammed so much into today, and they probably knew they wouldn't be there tomorrow. So that way they can have basically the whole fucking week off. So I don't know. No, it's canceled? Okay. Alright, so no show tomorrow. So, but we'll be live Thursday, of course, for 4th of July. I'm thinking I'm going to go around the same time, 8 o'clock, because that's when the, you know, it's not even dark by 8, really. So no tomorrow or Friday. Okay, thank you so much, Food Fairy. Appreciate you for that. So there you go. What's up, Pete? We're about to hop out of here, Pete, but it's a pretty good one if you want to rewatch. It's just long. There's some fireworks, but it's long. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here for now. Thank you guys for joining us. I know you guys could have hung out and watched it yourselves, but you hung out with us, and that's what makes it great. You know, every person adds another domino to the pile, and it only makes it more better. So yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for the likes, the love, the thumbs ups, the donos. I appreciate all of them. Kat, that was a huge one as well. I appreciate you. I will see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So enjoy your Taco Tuesday. Go out and get you some good tacos, and I'll see you in a little bit. On behalf of Stink Bomb and myself, we're out of here for now. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. But always keep those notifications clicked to all on YouTube, so that way if there's a chase that pops off in 20 minutes, you'll get the alert and you can join us. Okay? So on behalf of, like I said, a Stink Bomb and myself, we're out of here for now. Enjoy your day.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, you guys. And again.